What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Wednesday, November 3rd to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. A pretty good night last night. We'll go over that, but big news brought to us here by the chat. My man, Brandon Lugo. Aaron Rodgers out Sunday versus Chiefs, and I came so close to betting the under last night. I said I was going to bet it. It was just that when push came to shove, I saw that all that looked like the big bets were coming in on the over. I was like, okay, if you want the under, just wait. And that blew up in my face. Upsetting. Thank you for sharing that with us, Brandon Lugo. Aaron Rodgers out Sunday versus the Chiefs with a COVID. Gark Ball says, bunch of L's for you yesterday. 3 L's, but 5 W's plus 1.85 unit day. Gark Balls. So, yeah, I don't know what show you're watching, but it was a good show. 3-1 in NHL. I called the Leafs to win 4-1. They won 4-0. 1-1 in NBA, 1-1 in NCAA football. So, how about we start by me letting Gark Balls know that you can blow me. Sam Culmer in the house, coming off a 4-0 day in the Champions League. Attaboy, great work. There's Eric Jones ready to get to work. Henry Dice. Toucan says, so in taking over 110.5 first half, New York, Indiana. They're 1-3 in points in the first half. New York's also third in three-point possession, and Indiana is 24th in shooting attempts allowed. From our guy, Toucan 514. I can't wait to break that down. We do have Trot Wam joining us for this 11-game NBA card. So we're going to start out with the 4 NHL games, move into NBA, and then into NCAA football. Matty Ice, don't worry. We believe in you very, very much. And look, it was a tough spot there. You were on the Astros. So was Ron Crawford. It's good company. And then Jose with his enormous balls took the other side with the Braves to get back into plus units, to be back as a winning capper on the show. I'm very excited. Cap-a-lot Pop says, my trust me play of the day, cash that Atlanta game and under. I know you remember I said in the chat yesterday, stay tuned for my trust me plays of the day. I will. Yes, Michael Verlina sharing us the breaking news out, tested positive for COVID. And Gark Ball's filling up this chat with a bunch of bullshit. Try not to. It's almost spam. You're annoying me already. Viper MB, J Dub, swerving in the house. Mike M, Pimp Slap, play today. Cash out with another winner. First time ever. I can't wait for spring ball. Slatsy says, oh, they must be bursting to get on today. All right. Cab in the house. And Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler says Florida sports betting is illegal. Congratulations. There's Spencer Karamati says, appreciate all the hard work. Let's keep catching. Let's do that. There's Kev Riley in the house. Sean Dozier. Eric Jones. All right. Let's get to work. Thank you guys all so much for joining us. And Razor says horses tonight and for the next 4 days. You're absolutely right, Razor. We have 4 straight days of horse racing. Feels like old times. So Razor will be tonight and Thursday night. I'm going to jump on the show. We're going to talk about Breeders' Cup and bet races, go over the big races. And then Thursday will be more Razor Sharp picks. And Razor will be joining me for Friday and Saturday. Slatsy says, thought I beat the line with Packers at +3. Yeah, it's tricky. It's very dangerous betting early these days in NFL. Things have changed. A little bounce back night from Mark Schillingberg. That's all you want. Every day the black is a good day. I say 5-3 plus 1.85 units is decent, but I feel good about it. Any day in the black is a good day. There's Nut Flush Allen, Christopher Carter, Bobby Boucher. We have Maction tonight. There's Puzzler in the house. All right. And let's get right to work. Everybody. Big Smooth says, giving love out to Millsy. Yes. Very, very tough times for Mills here with losing his mom dying. And he's such a strong guy, and it's important for us to send him as much love and strength and positive energy as possible. But I know that Millsy's going to, put his family on his shoulders and lead them through these tough times. He's such strength and character. He's such a good guy. So that's very kind of you, Big Smooth. There's Rodney Barton in the house. CT Bays, Oz B. Coco Bongos had killed the over in Eastern Michigan. Yeah, I want to give that Ray Charles, David Summers. Let's get that out of the way too. Not out of the way, but God, wasn't razor sharp picks so sharp in all of those games? And there was some good capping. We came close to cashing that first half for Toledo. They were, led by 4 going to the break, and we had them at 5.5. The Ohio was, great work, great capping. But Razor nailed the overs in action. All of the sharp money was going towards the under, and Razor had no fear whatsoever and was hammering against that. I was very impressed. Sydney ready to go. All right, guys. Paco says, what are the dates you're going to be in LA? I believe it's the 18th to the 2nd. I believe it's 18th to the 2nd. There's Picasso the Prophet ready to go. And there's TrotWAM, who will be joining us very, very soon. Let's get right to work. Cab says, did you see the call to be on the Toledo game? No, I didn't. I was on the NFL show, so I didn't get to see it. I didn't get to see it, unfortunately. So I don't. If it's horrific, I don't want to hear about it. Okay, let's get to work. Thank you guys so much for joining us. So a 3-1 night plus 2.05 units in NHL. Leafs -1 was like I had imagined. It was a gift. It was very, very easy. Ducks plus 105 was very easy, even though the market went against us. I wish I could have got the plus 115. Senators first period was a miss, and they were down 3-1 after the first period. They tied it up at 4 after 2, lost in overtime. And Dallas Winnipeg over 5.5 was very easy as well. In NBA, Milwaukee Detroit over 211 was a loss. Houston Lakers over 216 was a very easy casher and pretty simple cap, really. And then 101 in NCAA football. We have Trot Wam joining us. Ski Profit coming off a 2-2 day, down 0.2 units. Our NBA experts are 22-8 overall, plus 14.02 units. And it was Trot Wam, our first guest of the season, who opened the season with a 3-1 day that got, when you all these cappers winning, it just sharpens them up. It just makes them want to be sharper. Seeing their colleagues be successful makes them try harder. It's just and it all started with Trot Wam coming onto the show and going 3-1 to get the season started for us. MLB is over. MLB is done. Can we put up the final MLB record, Jose, when you get a chance? That's it in the books. 361 wins, 327 losses, 52.5%, down 4.17 units. ROI down 0.61%. Average line -111. It's disappointing to finish the year negative units. MLB is just so hard, man. The analytics are, the depth of the statistics are so enormous, and you can spend 2 or 3 hours on each game. And when we're trying to cap 15 games a day, it's very difficult. I wish I had it done better for you guys. And when I'm capping NHL, I'm like, God damn, I need to have a season where I'm up 50 units for all the support that you guys have given me. And I feel like I can do that in NHL. I'm okay with that. MLB record. I mean, it's negative units, but it's a battle. It's a battle. All right, let's get to work. We start with NHL. And again, and I don't want me to keep saying this, I've got to figure out a different system for my market moves. The site that I've been using is going through some changes, and it's not up to date, and it's messing me up. So we're going to be using the opening line from the Action Network. We'll be doing that. ActionNetwork.com will be using their opening lines for this. Let's get to work. And Dav Fan got the Ducks at plus 115 for 3. Nice job, Dav Fan. I love hearing that shit. Okay, let's roll. We start Carolina Hurricane. I've made one bet, just one bet in NHL. I find this kind of a tricky card. Let's break this down. Dan Kelly says, don't waste your time on MLB next year. You do not have a supercomputer. It's a waste of your time. Your other capping will be that much sharper. Yeah, you're not the first person to say that. And there's Peter Loshak in the house. Says, all my fucking liens cashed yesterday. Next Tuesday forced me to make all my liens official. I'm steaming. Pistol Pete, you still were great. You still were absolutely great. And Kev Riley coming in. Cash Eastern Michigan 9.5. Cash Rangers under 5.5. Cash Milwaukee under 105 first half. Lost Astros and lost Lakers under. So good day. 3-2, good day. Okay, let's get to work right now. Love having Loshak in the chat. We start with Carolina Hurricanes. 8-0, 3-0 on the road. And last night, I was sitting there staring at Hurricanes futures and Miami Heat futures, and just wondering why I didn't bet them, and I didn't. Still, I'll wait. Maybe today. But the Hurricanes are a strong team, and we'll see exactly how strong they are right now because they are missing Nino Niederreiter. United Center, Chicago, Illinois. Hurricanes 8-0, 3-0 on the road. Blackhawks 1-7-2, 1-3-1 at home. Frederik Andersen up against Marc-Andre Fleury. Frederik Andersen's been very good this year. I guess he had to get out of Toronto. Peter Loshak says Carolina -1. Don't overthink it. The Hurricanes open up at -155, which is where they stand right now, which is pretty interesting that the market's not moving towards them. Let's move over to the cash flow side of things in this game. We have 2,471 tickets in. On the money line, 79% of the tickets and 98% of cash on the Hurricanes. And the market not moving towards them. Very strange. 72% of tickets on the over. Carolina's power play, 28.1%. Penalty killing, 88.9%. Very strong special teams. Chicago's had a great special team so far this year, too. Surprisingly, they're 1-7, 1-7-2. 26.3% power play, 88.6% penalty killing. Hurricanes come off sweeping their 4-game homestand, outscoring the opposition 15-5. Their last win was their most underwhelming, 2-1 over Arizona on Sunday. So now they lose Nino Niederreiter out multiple weeks with a lower body injury. It'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. But it's pretty – I can explain why I think they've started 8-0. We knew they were going to be good. Svechnikov has been good this year at 7 goals, 4 assists in 8 games. Sebastian Aho is a elite forward. He's a top 10 player in the NHL. Big, accountable. Reminds me of Barkov. He's a really good center. Vincent Trocheck, I love him. I don't know why the Panthers got rid of him. I mean, it was a trade deadline move when they weren't going to make the playoffs, but he's so accountable. He wins faceoffs. You have centermen in Sebastian Aho, Vincent Trocheck, and Jordan Staal that are all winning faceoffs, accountable defensively, make the right pass, make the right plays. They're just a smart group. What I think the big difference here is Tony DeAngelo. He has so much skill. And there was a time with him with the Rangers where I was like, this guy is a really good defenseman. Then he had off-ice issues. And they were so bad that the Rangers cut him. And anybody could have had Tony DeAngelo. He's got 9 points in 8 games. Not only that, though, he's a +9. He's been so good. So good. Kevin Riley says Chicago Blackhawks, not a good team. Well, they're certainly better than their record indicates. And they've certainly had a ton of weight on them. And I can understand if somebody wouldn't want to. I can understand with all the weight on the franchise right now, if somebody wants to fade them. Christopher Comentini says, are we still fading the Blackhawks due to the situation there? Henry Dice says, Kane's unbeaten until they get beat, says follow the train. And Mike M says, Lankinen is in net. So go hard versus Carolina, 6-3 hammering this over. I'm not sure what the Blackhawks are going to do here. They're coming off their first win of the season. Patrick Kane had 3 goals and an assist. He'd been sidelined the previous 4 games with COVID protocol. Jonathan Taves, captain series, had 3 assists. By the way, Kane's hat trick gave him 408 career goals, moving him past Steve Larmer for 3rd on the franchise list. God, I love Larmer so much. And he also passed Dennis Savard for 3rd on the Blackhawks point list. And those of us, I'm 42, those of us in my generation who were playing hockey, it was the Savardian Spinorama was a must. And I had a Savard jersey that I still have kept for 35 years. Tyler Johnson won't be in the lineup on Wednesday. It's Johnson's 3rd straight game out of action. He's a goal and 3 points in 8 games so far this year. Defend, no. It's going to take a lot more than that, than 8 wins here. Banana Grapes says, bring Jose in, then tell him to leave immediately. That's how Banana Grapes is starting his day. So I didn't immediately want to bet the Hurricanes. I don't want to sit here with, mid-level road favorites. And I was confused why the market wasn't moving. And then you see Sammy Comer on the Hawks tonight. Nate Dogg in the house. Great to see you. So all this said and done, I don't really want to have Carolina on the -1 line here. I'm curious to see. I didn't think that Tyler Johnson makes sense as a first-line centerman, and him out of the lineup I don't think is a huge loss. Them finally getting a win and not being angry coming into the rink is a huge deal. Marissa saying Blackhawks play Arizona on Thursday. So this is no move for me. I could understand if anybody wanted to back the Hurricanes. I was saying Hurricanes money line. If there's 98% of the cash on the Hurricanes, why is it not moving? Lance LaRose says maybe some goals here. So I'm not moving on this game. And I don't mean to bore you guys. Let's take a look at the total here. Sitting at 6. It did open at 5.5. Eric Jones is on the over. Peter Loshak says it's like Philly -1 yesterday. No, Philly -1 was the right bet. No doubt about it. But it was 0-0 going into the third period. And the Blackhawks are a much better team than Arizona. Peter Loshak says it's like Philly -1. Says maybe it loses, but got to be a good play. And Blackthorn King says, I know you have a Braves hat. Put it on. Rep my squad, bro. Respect Blackthorn King. And I do not have a Braves hat. But congratulations on winning the World Series. Nice to see the Astros lose. North Ender says Oilers up to -225. I am on the Oilers here. And we have a horseplay from Cindy right now. Race Churchill Downs race 2. She's on the 1 and an exactor 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 10. Copy and paste that. Peter says Hurricanes much better team than Philly. Yeah, you're right. I agree with that. They're a really good hockey team. Now they're without Nito Niederreiter, and I don't know exactly what to do with the Blackhawks. And there's no bet for me. So let's move on. We move on to Nashville Predators, 5-4-0, 2-1-0 on the road at Edmonton Oilers, 7-1-0, 4-1-0 at home. We will be having Trot Wam joining us here in about 10 minutes. We're at Rogers Place in Edmonton, Alberta. I expect Connor Ingram to be in net tonight, and he's coming off a great first game of the year. The jury's out whether Connor Ingram – what kind of goalie we're dealing with Connor Ingram, in all honesty. Let's bring up his hockey DB so we can take a look at his whole career here. So, third-round pick by the Lightning in the 2016 NHL draft. That was his NHL debut here a few days ago. Last year with the Chicago Wolves, he only played 5 games. He went over to Sweden to play as well. He didn't look very good in the 5 games with the Wolves, but that's not a big sample size. In 2019-20 with the Milwaukee Admirals, he got 33 games in, and he looked very good. Very, very good. 1.92 goals against average, 933 save percentage. So I don't know exactly what we're going to get from Connor Ingram. Coming off a great start. Yes, the Breeders' Cup travels each year. Henry Dice is on the Oilers puck line -1.5, and I did that as well. The North Ender says Preds off a back-to-back overtime. I like the Oil. Yes, so the Oil are hitting 46.2% on their power play, 91.3% penalty killing. Those are the types of numbers that can win you a Stanley Cup. Now, they're spectacular numbers, and they can't keep up a 46.2% power play unless Gretzky and Curry are out there. So, but it's spectacular. The Preds have a 25% power play, which their power play has been so bad the last few years, but 78.8% penalty killing. And Mikko Koskinen has been very good with Mike Smith hurt, knowing that he's going to be playing every day. Marissa saying public loving up on Jonas Johansson and the Avs today. It's crazy to me, Marissa. It's so crazy to me that I almost bet Columbus. I just don't like their squad at all. I came so close to betting them, though. But let's talk about this spot here. Predators on the second half of back-to-back after their 4th straight win, 3-2 in overtime at Calgary last night. They were outshot 40-22. UC Saros was excellent. They've allowed 7 goals over their last 4 games, and Roman Yossi's leading the way. Roman Yossi, 3 goals, 6 assists, 9 points, +5. He's playing 25 minutes, 32 seconds a game, and he will be nominated for a Norris Trophy if he continues this play. Matt Duchene seems to be trying this year. Both him and Ryan Johansson are 3 goals and 4 assists in 9 games. Johansson is a -4, though. Just can't be counted on. Let's see what this opened up at from the Action Network. They have this opening up as Oilers at -200 and They were minus 200 this morning. They're now minus 225. That puck line, by the way, the minus 1.5 puck line's down to plus 105. I'm shocked that it's moved that much because I was even hesitant. There was a chance for me making no action on this NHL card. And then I moved on Edmonton. I got the minus 1.5 at plus 120. So I feel good about the market move. Let's talk a little bit more about why Nashville's being okay, 5-4-0, which I do not think they'll make the playoffs. It's Michael Granlund. He is their first line centerman. He's playing very well. 2 goals, 6 assists, and he's a +3. Oilers coming off their second straight win, 5-2 at home over the Kraken on Monday night. Leon Draisaitl, 2 goals and 2 assists, 7 goals, 10 assists. He's a +9. McDavid has 7 goals, 10 assists as well. He's just a +2. The Nuge has 11 assists on the season, nary a goal. Zach Hyman, interesting. Zach Hyman, 6 goals, 2 assists, and he's allowed, I believe, with his talent and he's just so consistent. He works so hard. You can always trust him to give 100% effort. Zach Hyman is a -5, surprisingly, but he has allowed the Oilers to split up McDavid and Draisaitl, and they probably are more dangerous here. North Ender got the -1 at -200. I thought about that. The -200 money line and the puck line at plus 120 gives you a -1 line at -136. And I thought about that. Matty Ice says, Jimmy, what's your thoughts on the total here? I came close to betting the over. I came close. The issue is that there's just my plan was to bet the over. And then I don't know what Connor Ingram is going to give us. I'm not sure. Second game of his NHL career. His first one was a great one. I don't know. And the Predators are playing a really nice tight ship under John Hines. He's doing a really nice job with this group. So Mike M on the under. My initial feeling was moving on the over. And I guess because I can't move on it with some unknowns, maybe Mikey M is absolutely right here on the spot. So Matty Ice leaning under. I just think Connor Ingram's too much of a question mark. Nashville Predators are not going to have legs in the third period. So Cheshire Cat says Preds got to be tired after last night, don't you think? Well, the travel from Calgary to Edmonton is very easy. But yeah, you have to think that they're going to be tired. Nikolai Jabinski's got the Oilers by 1 and 2 in the regulation split. I get it. So I'm on the Oilers -1.5. And I got plus 120. It's plus 105 right now. So let's keep rolling. Next up for us is the Columbus Blue Jackets, 5-3-0, 1-2-0 on the road at Colorado Avalanche, 4-4-0, 2-2-0 at home. We're at Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. Action Network has this as an opener, has the Avalanche at -245. Really? Were they that? That's crazy. So I guess what happened was Avalanche opened up at -245. Jonas Johansson is going to be in net instead of Kemper. And Kemper, I don't really trust that much either. And it goes down to -175, which must be the situation here. Jeff Joseph coming to us live from Las Vegas right now says, love the under in Jackets Avalanche. Jackets not scoring at all. Also all in on Rangers unders this year, 7 or 8 in a row. I love hearing that. And Cindy Plays Horses says solid overplay here. And Nate Dogg is on the over 5.5 in this Avalanche Blue Jackets game. This is a very, very interesting game. And it makes me want nothing to do with the Avalanche. Clearly, with the opening line the way it was, the opportunity to get the Jackets at a plus 200 rather than plus 155 is probably reason enough not to move on the Blue Jackets. But let's talk about all the moving parts here. First, you got Elvis Merzlikins in between the pipes for the Jackets. He's been very good this year. 4-1-0, 1.98 goals against average, 939 save percentage. Then Jonas Johansson is the backup, and he's not to be trusted. I'm shocked that even at -175, I'm pretty shocked. And there's a lot of other reasons why this Avalanche line has been dropped very quickly. By the way, in Predators Nashville, we didn't talk about this. 78% of the tickets on the Oilers, 99% of the cash on the money line. Then you have 48% of the tickets on the under, 75% of the cash on the under. So you're right. Sharps looking at the under in Nashville, Edmonton. And then Columbus, Colorado, 57% of tickets on Columbus, that's the spread, excuse me. 35% of tickets on the money line on Columbus, 84% of the cash. So the Sharps have already hammered this, and I get why they did. 83% of tickets on the over. So listen, the most important thing here, Mark Schoenberg says, I'm on Columbus Blue Jackets all day. And Marissa saying Kemper having a bad season too. Avs way overpriced. If Columbus wins, it's going under. Elvis has been playing really well. I hope he starts for Columbus. Let's talk about this because there's huge injury problems right now. The most important, we'll start with the Avs. So Cale Makar has an upper body injury. He's not going to play. He's not playing tonight. And he's had a very strange season too, right? He's the favorite to win the Norris. I bet him to win the Norris last year, but I wasn't going to take – you don't ever take a favorite to win an award. It's just never works. You need a huge risk reward if you're going to take a player to win a reward. And him at plus 400, I believe he was, to win the Norris is just not worth it. He's a -8 in 6 games, Cale Makar. And that's bad. Now, I know that they had McKinnon out with COVID to start the year, and then Landeskog was suspended for 2 games, but that's really bad. So Mikko Rantanen is considered doubtful. Devin Taves, who's a very good defenseman, is not an option here. We've been waiting for him to return to the ice. It's undisclosed why he's not an option, so he won't be playing. Valerie Nichushkin is not going to be in the lineup with an upper body injury, and Andrei Burakovsky is day-to-day. So you have a ton of injuries here, and I don't know how. Now, look, Bowen Byram can step up. Samuel Girard's been dealing with some injuries too, but Bowen Byram can step up. But we're asking a ton for, I believe, is he still 19? Did he turn 20? So JT Compher's been very good this year. Nate McKinnon, a goal and 8 assists, but he's a -3. Landeskog has 4 goals and 4 assists in 6 games. He's a +4. But I don't know how in the world anybody could move on Colorado. Maybe at this price, maybe you could think maybe I'm getting the right price now. I don't know. Jeff Joseph, I'm very close to deciding what to do with Gamine, and I can't wait to talk to you all about it, my man. I'm so excited about the Breeders here. So excited. So let's talk about Columbus. They're coming in off a 4-3 win at the Devils on Sunday. It was a perfect time to bet them. And I was going to bet them. And then I looked at their roster because they were coming off that 4-0 loss at the Rangers in Madison Square Garden. So then they don't have to travel. They sit there kind of stewing on a 4-0 loss. And I looked at the roster and I was like, I can't bet this team. I just can't. I just don't want anything to do with them. I mean, Oliver Bjorkstrand's been very good, 4 goals, 6 assists. But Patrick Laine, I don't trust. He's been okay to start the year, 3 goals, 5 assists. Jakub Voracek doesn't have a goal, has 7 assists. Max Domi is in COVID protocol. Max Domi, excuse me. I'm not a big Max Domi fan here. So, look, the bet was the Blue Jackets. But even at plus 200, maybe at plus 200, it's a must bet. And at plus 155, it's not probably worth it. And maybe at plus 175 or plus 180, you could think about it. Trans Canada says, Bag, I have extra Winnipeg Jets and Blue Bombers hats. Your shelf needs Winnipeg gear. Well, I try to not support any other Canadian hockey teams. I try my hardest. But I do have a soft spot for the Jets. And I would love a Bombers hat. So let's talk, my man, Trans Canada. Let's talk. Okay, Kevin Riley says, take Columbus, been hammering hockey for the past 3 hours. I don't think it's responsible to bet Columbus at plus 155 when it was available at plus 200, personally. But it's Columbus or pass. All right, let's move on to 10 p.m. Eastern. Final game on the card, St. Louis Blues at LA Kings. This is another situation where I want to bet the Kings so badly, but I can't do it. I cannot press this button. Let's go over the Action Network and see what this opened with. This opened with the Kings at plus 100, Blues minus 121, and the total at 5.5. Arthur Meade Jr., much love to you, my friend. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your dono and your support of us. You're just an OG low bag. You've had our backs since day one. It just means the world. Absolutely means the world. Much love to Arthur Meade Jr. All right, this is the final game on the NHL card, and then we'll move over to NBA and have a Trot Wam here on the show. Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. I'm expecting Jordan Binnington, 5-1-0, 2.52 ERA, 926 save percentage, 1 shutout against Calvin Peterson. But, you know, it could be Johnny Quick. Calvin Peterson, 3.28 goals against average, 895 save percentage. He hasn't been very good this year. St. Louis's power play has been excellent. Kevin Riley says, why not take a plus 155, Jimmy? Because it opened at plus 200. And if you are making the right bet, the market in the NHL is going to move drastically in your favor. I mean, I ended up beating that Leafs move by 50 cents yesterday. When something is available at plus 200 and you look at the implied probability of that bet, why don't we just pull that up very quickly? Sorry, I don't even have that site up anymore. It's being so shitty. Let's just pull this up here quickly. When you're dealing with an implied probability of plus 200 for a team that I don't really like in the Columbus Blue Jackets, a team that I think is easy to play against in the Columbus Blue Jackets. And look, this is an angry Avalanche team. I know they're missing so many important parts, but it's an angry group. So if we have a plus 200, then your implied probability is 33.3% of the time. With all the missing pieces that Colorado has, that's a great bet. Columbus is going to win against these two rosters playing against each other way more than 33.3% of the time. When we move it to plus 155, now it's 39.22%. Now it's close to 40%. Will they win 40%? Probably. Probably. But now it becomes I don't know. So that's I don't. I just you have to cap the night before in NHL. In NBA, there's so many moving parts, but in NHL, most of the spots it's critical to get in early. So let's talk about this spot here. St. Louis 35% power play being so good. Will it continue to be good without Riley winning the faceoffs? Probably. And 91.3% penalty killing. And Tyrone Coleman says, "What about the over?" Yeah, I guess so. But the thing is that you're not going to have Cale Makar, and there's going to be a ton of responsibility then on these young Avalanche defensemen, and they will be coached by Bednar not to risk and not to pinch. If they're going to be playing 25 plus minutes a game, they've got to play very defensively responsible. If I had a free play, I don't know. I'm not. If you're missing key components to your offense in Rantanen, Nichushkin, and Burakovsky, those are key offensive players, then I would just tighten up the ship. So I would tighten up ship. Top Shelf Play says Birdie Predators pick hit yesterday. Yeah, Birdie's a hell of a player. So Slatty says, I know O'Reilly's out, but Doughty and Arvids now for the Kings is big. Blues easily beat the Kings twice this year. Still haven't moved on this. Well put. So let's break this down here. We'll start with the Blues coming in off a 1-0 win at home over the Blackhawks on Saturday night. Brandon Saad, and I apologize for calling him Sayad for so long. Brandon Saad participated in Tuesday's practice, so he's been out on COVID protocol. He's off of the list. He's set up to be back in action. But Ryan O'Reilly will not be here. He's going to miss the next 4 games. Kyle Clifford is also in COVID protocol. So you have David Perron with 6 goals and 3 assists. Last year I was surprised how good he was offensively. And I know he's always been a very good offensive player, but I didn't really think of him as a point-a-game player. And he's doing that again this year. And Jordan Kyrou, 2 goals, 7 assists. That doesn't alarm me because he had a great start to the year last year. It's the +6 is very impressive. Also, I don't believe in Tarasenko long-term, but he's 4 goals, 5 assists. He's a +5. And Robert Thomas, I don't know what's going on with him. I really don't. He has no goals, but he has 6 assists and he's a +5. That's very good. But he's taken 4 shots on goal. This is a first-round pick that you want to be that you need to step up in O'Reilly's absence. And I don't know what's happening for him out there. But 4 shots is not acceptable. It's just not acceptable. So there we go. Slatsy says it's Maxi saying St. Louis Blues or pass. See, I'm the other way. I was LA Kings or pass here. Let's talk about the Kings here, but I pass. Kings are coming off their second straight win, 3-2 at home versus the Sabres. This is the 4th game of a 5-game homestand. It's one of my favorite spots to back a home team. A 4th game of a 5-game homestand and 5th game of a 6-game homestand are my favorite spots to back them. But Arvidsson has been put on the COVID-19 protocol as well as Gabriel Vilardi. Arvidsson has 2 goals and 5 points in 8 games this season. He's day-to-day now. Drew Doughty's out for an extended period, but if you look at the team here, you have Anze Kopitar being spectacular, 7 goals, 6 assists, 9 games. Alex Iafallo, 4 goals and 4 assists, and then you have nobody. So you had Drew Doughty with a 1 goal and 6 assists in 4 games. Now he's going to be out for an extended period. And then you have Victor Arvidsson. You have nobody else scoring. You have nobody else doing anything. Because of that, I couldn't move on the Kings in that spot where I almost want to bet blindly on every team in the 4th game of a 5-game homestand. So there you have it. There's NHL. I have one look and one look only. That is the Edmonton Oilers -1.5. I got them at +120. It's now +105. I don't feel comfortable with the market in the Hurricanes Blackhawks, and I don't know what to make of the Blackhawks right now. And Kane has stepped up. Kane and Taves will be tarnished. Their careers will be tarnished forever because of this whole Chris Beach incident. And they stepped up for their franchise when they needed a win more than anything, and they got that win. So Kane had the hat trick, and Taves had 3 assists, and I don't know what to do with them. So I'm on Edmonton. I could understand both Columbus and the Kings. I don't want them. So that's it. There's the NHL card. We're having an okay season. Okay, I want more. 30 wins, 29 losses, 50.8%, plus 2.71 units. ROI plus 4.59%, average line plus 109. We're coming up at 3-in-1 day, plus 2.05 units. All right, it is time to move on to NBA. NBA and our guest, our expert. He was our first guest of the NBA season. He started this trend of our experts winning. He went 3-in-1 on his first show here. Then he went 2-0-1, 2 wins, no losses, and a push to put him at 5 wins and 1 loss, plus 4.4 units, average line plus 104. And goddamn, I love capping with him, and I love watching him win. Please welcome to the show, Pride of Long Beach, Cali, Trot Wam in the house. What's up, Wham Bam?
What's up? Yes, sir. I'm feeling good. Let me make sure I'm live. This mic is hot. Yes. What's up, man? What's up, everybody? How everybody doing, man? Feeling good, bro.
Hey, you're seeing things clearly, man. You are seeing things clearly, and we're excited to have you on the show. Our NBA experts are 22 wins and 8 losses, plus 14.02 units, and I am impressed. Wham Bam, an 11-game card. We're making you work for it here today, Wham Bam.
Let's get it.
It's not easy, but it gives us a ton of options. Here. We got a lot of love for you in the chat. And let's get right to work here, Wham. We're going to start. And again, I'm going to be using the Action Network for the opening and closing lines.
Okay.
And which is not what I usually use. So I can't do some of the line movement stuff that we have been doing, which hopefully I can get back to soon. But we're going to start here with the Blazers Cavaliers. So I'll set a table for you, Wham. And then while you're talking, as soon as you start talking, I'm going to go in and get all the most up-to-date injury reports that we can have while we go here. The Blazers open up as 4.5-point favorites, and this total at 219. If I go over to Bet365 right now, I have the Blazers at 4.5, and this total has dropped 2 points to 217.5. Blazers 3-4, 0-3 on the road. Cavs 4-4, 1-1 at home at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse in Cleveland, Ohio. We go over to the cash flow in this spot. Here we go. We have 3,530 tickets in. 80% of the tickets, 90% of the cash on the Portland Trailblazers. 60% of the tickets, 72% of the cash on the over, and yet it's dropped 2 points. Portland pace so far this year, 9th in the NBA, 101.79 possessions a game. Cleveland's pace, 22nd at 99.63 possessions a game. Portland has not looked good on the road this year. They've lost all 3 of their games. They've lost them all by double digits. They lose 125-113 at Charlotte on Sunday. They lose 113-103 at Philly on Monday against a Sixers team without Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, and Ben Simmons. This is their 3rd game in 4 nights, and yet they are 4.5-point favorites. Norman Powell went 8 of 12 from the floor for 22. Lillard, 7 of 20 from the floor, 2 of 9 from 3. That's a day after he went 5 of 20 from the floor and 2 of 14 from 3. Cleveland concluded a very successful road trip, 3-2 with a 113-110 win in Charlotte on Monday. Jared Allen, Lauri Markkanen, and Evan Mobley are a really nice looking front court. 60 points, 34 boards, 7 blocks, 5 steals combined on Monday. Allen scores 15 of his team high 24 in the first just to get them rolling. Markkanen goes for a season high 21. Kevin Love expected to miss the game in the NBA's health and safety protocols. An interesting spot here. I can understand wanting to fade a team after a successful road trip in their first game back home. And Portland, an angry group playing poor basketball. Here we go. Wham bam. First game on the card. Blazers, Cavs. Take it away.
Man, this is such an interesting game. You got a team that's struggling in the Rip City that's in desperate for a win right now. Haven't won on the road yet. 0-3 so far for the road ATS. And they're going against a team that's really, like you said, tough down low. Evan Mobley, double cash last time, plus money, man. And it looks like it's plus money again at plus 200, man. Damn, why can't he get that against this team? I mean, that's the first thing that gets in my head when I look at the box score, because I didn't watch this game, but I didn't have this circled as the last game for the Hornets and the Cavaliers. I had that circled as a revenge game. Ricky Rubio made it sure that, I had 6 turnovers last game. We got to play better in this game. We played a little bit better here. Are they going to have that same intensity here at the house against this Rip City team who really struggling? Allowing opponents to shoot 37% beyond the arc. Now, are you thinking that this Cavs team is going to play that up-tempo style? Because, like you said, they're 22nd for the year in pace and 27th in the last 5 games in pace for the Cavs. I'm thinking that they kind of slow down this tempo, man. This 217, maybe an under here. I think the Portland may be having some defense problems down low. I don't know. I think the Cavs is probably the spot here, but I'm really circling in on this Evan Mobley double-double. That seemed like a good spot for me. I like the way this young kid is playing. At 10 rebounds last time. I think the rebounds may only go up, and the points seem like he could score in this league for sure. So I think he could get to 10 points.
Do you have any concern of a kid at his age coming home after a road trip in the beginning of the year for the first time in his career?
That's a great question. That's a great question. See, that's why I love capping with you, bro. I don't really think of that as far as this. I think in this case, you know what? That's a great question. That's a great question, bro. Because I honestly didn't start thinking about that angle until I started capping with you, bro. That's a good question.
I just don't, he is a very wealthy young man.
Right.
He coming off of a long road trip for the first time. He comes home, so he's got girls, he's got cars,
gadgets, all that good stuff. Yeah, I probably was on a VR last night, VR porn or some shit like that or something, huh?
It's the first time I think what we will do is we're gonna get an idea of Mobley's character in this one game, and we shouldn't judge him,
like the double
solely based on this. But it's a very interesting situation for a kid who's filthy rich for the first time in his life, coming home to his apartment that's probably gorgeous, having women waiting for him, and all that. So I'm curious. And then personally, it would scare me to back him here, and that's probably not fair. Probably not fair for me to say, but that's going through my head. I don't know. Do you agree with the Blazers being 4.5-point favorites when they've lost all 3 road games in double digits?
No, that's what I'm saying, man. I mean, and then you said it. You said, well, the last game was the 3rd game of 4 nights for them as well, so they've just been having a tough schedule for this Blazer team, man. But I wouldn't lay it with the Blazers, so I'm only leaning Cleveland here. But I think it's a prop game, man. It's a prop game. It's going to be it's tough though because it's under here. It's just screaming at me 217.5. I think you said the line is moving a little bit down. That total is moving down.
Yeah, it's moved. It's reverse line movement. It goes down to 217.5 with all the money on the over.
Yeah, man. It's just screaming under to me, and I just think that this is a Cleveland spot here, bro. Even though, like you said, I didn't think about that until you said it, man. Now you got me, second guessing what I wrote down here. Like, you know what I mean? But I actually, that could be it. Like coming back from a road game, from a road trip, we do see that a lot, and I learned that from you, bro. So I might stay away from the actual side here, but I like the Evan Mobley double here.
Is that something you're going to make official?
No, I haven't made it official yet, but I think that's probably what I'm going to play. I'm going to play that.
All right, I don't know what to do with this game. I don't want it back. I can understand the market expecting a bounce back from Portland, and I get that. And then I can understand wanting to fade the Cavaliers team off a very successful road trip, feeling good about themselves. But I don't know how you could confidently put your money on the Portland Trailblazers other than by only solely focusing on a bounce back spot in the third game of 4 night. It's just Danny Ainge's Cavs are a lot better than what the odds suggest. Athletic, young, got some great shooters. So I don't know. I'm a little nervous about this spot, and let's move past it. Let's move on to the New York Knicks at Indiana Pacers, Gainbridge Fieldhouse, Indianapolis, Indiana. Knicks 5-2, 3-0 on the road. Pacers 2-6, 2-2 at home. Knicks 28th in pace at 98.36 possessions a game so far this year. Indiana Pacers 18th at 100.08 possessions a game. We have this opening up with the Knicks as 1.5-point dogs, and the total at 218. Right now, they're 1-point dogs, and this total has dropped 2.5 points to 215.5. When we look at the cash flow in this spot, 5,169 tickets in. 18% of the tickets are on the Pacers, and 35% of the cash. So, not expecting the Knicks to bounce back here are the bigger bets after that loss to the Raptors. Then we have 37% of tickets on the over and 78% of cash on the over. And then it's dropped 2.5 points. Top shelf places are like the Knicks and the under. And Kev Riley saying the Blazers 4-1 against spread in the last 5 meetings against Cleveland. Tyrone Coleman saying, I don't know, Portland has enough to win. Michael O'Brien says, I live in Portland, but not from here. But all my friends are Blazers fans, and they have all lost faith in the Blazers.
Yeah,
interesting, Michael. All right, let's talk about the Knicks here. 3-game winning streak ended as they had a 15-point first-half lead to the Raps, but the Raps battled and won 113-104. So it's still the best 7-game start for the franchise since 2012-2013. Pacers snapped a 4-game losing streak by beating San Antonio 131-118 at home on Monday night. Thank God, because Rick Carlisle was going to slap a bitch. Pacers 2-6 record is their worst 8-game record since 2014-15. Karis LeVert 16 points in 23 minutes in his second game back after missing the first 6 games of the year. Malcolm Brogdon hamstring, Jeremy Lamb ankle. Brogdon's missed the last 3 games. Lamb missed the last game. He suffered the injury on Saturday against the Raptors in that 110-109 loss. Here we go, Wham Bam. Knicks, Pacers, take it away.
Man, I can only lean towards the Knicks here. It's only right. Honestly, let's look at this Indiana team a little bit deeper, man. Like, they obviously have injury issues. Got guys that they haven't had in the lineup since the bubble. and then honestly, this is a new coach. And I do have faith in Rick Carlisle. Let's start there. I do have faith in Rick Carlisle, but I just believe that what they have to deal with, what they have to overcome early on is just already hard for them. Malcolm Brogdon is the big key for me in this game. I don't think he's playing today for sure, right? If I'm not mistaken, I think Malcolm Brogdon is probable. I see it's probable.
Yeah, so it's changing. So it was questionable and now probable.
Okay, so he might. That's the big key here for me for sure. But even with him in the lineup, I'm not really sure that this Knicks team, what they're gonna be able to keep up with this Knicks team. I do like the Chris Duarte though. Don't get me wrong. The public is gonna hammer the Knicks. That's so true. That's so true, Razor. Damn, Razor. Why you gotta come with that great comment right there? The public is gonna definitely hammer the Knicks, but you've seen the public hammer the Heat yesterday and they cash. They can hammer the Knicks here in cash as well. I think the Indiana, man, they just probably have a little bit more issues. I love Chris Duarte. Don't get me wrong. I do like the LeVert and Brogdon if they all could get on the floor healthy. But just let's be honest, man. It's got to be the Knicks here. But I would say everything that I remember, I don't have the stat in front of me here. I should have got the stat. Everything I remember, I want to say Sabonis has great games against the Knicks. I want to say he has great games against the Knicks. So I could see him probably having a good game again today.
This is a tough spot. Did you watch the Raps come back on the Knicks?
Yeah, I did, bro.
What did you think of that? What? I know that my man OG went off for 36, and we're in love with him. He's could be the leader of our country. We have all fallen head over heels in love with this whole basketball team. This reminds me of our basketball team from a couple years ago. I know last year was just this freak year where they weren't around, but where the players are so likable. It's so easy to cheer for them. But what went wrong with the Knicks there in the second half?
So I think that it's just a lot of defensive guys for the Toronto Raptors that I'm darling over. Basically, I love Princess Achua. You know, he's probably one of my guys that I thought was a sleeper coming into this team. And then also along with OG, man, you said it, bro. OG's been playing lights out offensively and defensively. Tend to do it on the defensive side most of the time and get sad on the offensive side. He's been balling. So in that game though, I go back as well for the Knicks here. When they played the Pistons, they just couldn't break up the or if I'm thinking this, yeah, it was the Pistons. I'm sorry, they couldn't break over the zone, bro. They can't get out of the zone. They can't break through the zone. I think that the Knicks just has an issue with getting key buckets. When they need buckets, they can't really get those buckets. They don't have really that guy besides Randall. We all know he's going left. You know what I'm saying? And for our guy Kemba, don't get me wrong. Kemba's been playing really well. Fournier's been lights out for sure, but you know those guys are not those guys. So you know you got an issue there. I think in key moments we're gonna see the Knicks fold up in key moments this year. But in this game, I think it's just a simple they may be better than this team. They may come out there play a little hungrier. I think the Indianas just might have an issue this year.
I think that Razor has some really good points here. He says line opened up at a pick'em. Vegas knew the public was going to hammer the Knicks, and they did. Vegas moved the line to Pacers -1. Now public going to hammer them even more at +1. Vegas knows that. You're absolutely right. Let's go back to this here. 82% of the tickets on the Knicks, but 65% of the cash.
But I can only see the Knicks winning this game, man. This is making it so cold because you can see that shit. It sucked. It just make me stay away from the game, though, honestly. Hearing that type of news and just knowing that my gut here is telling me to take the Knicks, it's probably going to keep me to stay away from this game. But
for me, by the way, we'll talk about it with Raps. For me, it's Kem Birch. I'm just in love with him. I think the guy's just a 6'9", but he plays like he's 7'2".
And coming off the bench too, man. That's key.
Well, he might be getting more time because Achua has not looked very good in the last couple of games. But Birch, man, a Canadian boy like that, ripping shit up for us. We're in love with this basketball team. Okay, let's move on. I think this is Pacers or no bet. I think this is Pacers or no bet here.
Yeah, no bet then, bro.
I think that Razor Sharp is absolutely right.
Yeah,
he's absolutely right. I mean, this is everybody knows that the Knicks are a public team, and then the public starts betting them, and then you move them to +1 to make them more appealing. And it doesn't always work out that way, but they're wildly exciting. The NBA is so much fun to cap. There's so many moving parts. So let's keep rolling. There's Nasty Nate in the house. We move on to Boston Celtics at Orlando Magic, 7 p.m. Eastern. Ooh, talk about soap opera. And talk about wildly different outcomes these last two games for these teams. Celtics 2-5, 2-2 on the road. Magic 2-6, 0-2 at home. Haven't won yet at home. We're at the Amway Center in Orlando, Florida. Let's see where this opened up. So I have Pacers opening up at -1.5, which takes a little bit away from the idea of what Razor was talking about. I had to pick them, but maybe it opened up at pick them at some books. Here in this spot, where are they? Here we go. Celtics Magic. We have the Celtics -6.5,
which is crazy.
The total at 214. Right now, we have the Celtics still at 6.5 and the total at 212.5. All right, so two completely different scenarios. First off, pace. Boston 12th at 101.19 possessions game. Orlando 27th, 98.50. Then we go with 3,984 tickets in. 81% of the tickets, 79% of the cash on the Celtics. 50-50 on the total with tickets, but 56% of cash on the over. So Orlando outscores the Timberwolves 43-19 in the fourth quarter and wins 115-97 in Minneapolis. Cole Anthony, 14 of his 31 in the fourth. And then Franz Wagner, 28 career points. Or career high 28 points, I should say. It was very impressive. These kids are playing good basketball. The Magic held an opponent under 100 points for the first time all year. Then the opposite. Celtics lose their third straight game. The Bulls outscore them 39-11 in the fourth quarter. Boston missed 18 shot attempts. And listen to this. They did not record a defensive rebound over the final 12 minutes. That's nuts.
Crazy.
Listen to this. The first time in the shot clock era an NBA team lost by 14 or more points after leading by 14 or more going into the fourth quarter. Wow. Horford, 20 and 10. Jaylen Brown goes for 28, 10 of 18. And Marcus Smart calling out Tatum and Brown. I can't wait to hear your breakdown here. Take it away.
So I'm glad you said that at the end, because I don't think he was calling out them two. I believe it's more directed towards the coach. Let's bring it all the way back. He was the first to be disciplined by this coach by getting left off the plane, I believe, in a preseason game. So he was one of the first ones to kind of get into it with this guy. I think him saying something about the game plan that, teams just know that we're going to run through these two guys, that's not really a knock towards them because they're actually producing. Jaylen Brown, I was on his points last game. I think I'm going to be on it again this game, over 22 and a half. It seemed like that was just easy money. So he was doing his thing. And as far as Tatum's been struggling for sure. But, I mean, honestly, I think Marcus Smart was calling out the coach. And I think it may be trickling down the line here, man. This shit is just crazy. Line is at 6.5 for Boston. After we've seen this Orlando Magic team, I mean, honestly, they've been competing. They've been actually competing. They haven't been able to score as much, but that's funny as hell that they haven't been able to score because they're fifth in the last 5 games in effective field goal percentage. I'm sorry, they're third in the league in effective field goal percentage in the last 5 games. So that's weird as ass stat there, but I think it had a lot to do with the young rookie, Franz Wagner. Honestly, looked like he's probably the best offensive player for this team for sure. I cashed in on the over 1.5 threes. We're going right back to the well again. I know you're getting it juiced. Just take the 1.5. You can actually take the 2.5. I'm gonna ladder this one up to 2.5. Like my guy Big Show just tell us, get that plus money here. But I take the 1.5. That's gonna be an official play for me for sure. It's juiced at minus 145, I think. But I'll take that for sure. I think Franz Wagner is gonna just show you that he's ascending. Averaging 15.6 points per game so far. Like my guy said, it's career high. He's only going to get better, shooting 46% from 3. I think he's going to continue to shoot lights out. Best shooter on their team already. So his brother's kind of coming along too. It's funny to see 2 brothers play on the same team. That's kind of weird, but his brother kind of comes along at times as well, but he's not that guy. His little brother is the one. Franz Wagner over 1.5 threes for sure. That's the one.
Wham Bam is on the board here. So I thought the same as a lot of you guys in the chat. I thought Celtics will bounce back. But the market feeling the exact same way. So the 6.5 just cuts everything off for me. And people are still betting on the Celtics. So then what do you do? Then do you take Celtics first half like Bill McDonald? That does seem like an appealing spot. What is your feeling on the character of this Celtics team? There's 2-5 right now. What happens? What's their next 20 games look like?
That's interesting. I didn't look all the way ahead that far, but I should definitely. And it really, if you just think about it like that, like saying that 20 games ahead, it really should start here with the Orlando Magic. The Orlando Magic are deemed to be the worst team in the league. You know what I mean? But yet these guys are allowing 38% from 3. You know what I mean? Over the last 5 games, the Celtics, and they're allowing opponents to 50 rebounds. Like you said, man, like that rebound thing is just like glaring to me. They have that issue in this game, bro. They're going to let these guys shoot really well. So that's the reason why I'm on the Franz Wagner 3-point prop. I think they're going to allow these guys to get points up. I honestly would say the over is appealing to me as well in this spot because I could see Orlando Magic being able to score. And that's the problem, man. Like it really should start here for the Celtics, but are we sure that the coach has everything in control with guys to making those type of quotes? I don't think it's a locker room problem. I think it's more like it's them against him type of thing. You know what I mean? Especially the way the other coach was elevated. It may be a little weird things going on.
Yeah, I don't know what
It's
to
tough.
do. I don't know if Celtics early possible. There's our guy Ski Profit in the house. Has juiced out yesterday. Hey, man, still 7-2 on the season, Ski. 7-2 plus 4.8 units. So you're rolling. And he says Celtics are dead to him. Eric Jones says,
they are to me too, bro. My apologies. I should have said that.
Fading Celtics till they show some fight. All right, tricky, but Wham is on the board with Wagner over 1.5 threes at minus 145. Bill McDonald says Al Horford double Bean cashing. There's Dennis Trusty in the house. It's our week, baby. Breeders. Toucan saying Brown over points, rebounds, and assists at over 30.5. And Mark Schillingberg saying I do not bet on or against the Celtics. That's one team no matter what. It just never works out, so I stay away. It's funny you say that, Mark, because I don't have the stats, and it would take me a long time to pull them out, but I would venture a guess that my ROI is negative on the Boston Celtics as well. Just anything that they're involved in. All right, let's move on to 7 p.m. Eastern. Eastern Chicago Bulls 6-1, 3-0 on the road at Sixers 5-2, 3-1 home. We're at Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We'll start here with what the Action Network is saying. The opener had the Sixers minus 1.5 and the total at 215.5. Sixers are now minus 2. Wow. God, what a difference a year makes. The pace for Chicago this year, 20th in the NBA, 99.86 possessions a game. Philadelphia last at 96.93 possessions a game. Simmons, personal issues, won't see a shrink, man. I think I should talk to him.
I thought he was seeing a shrink. He's not seeing a shrink. He needs help, bro.
He needs help, man. He needs help. I should sit and talk with him. So Joel Embiid missed Monday's 10-point victory with his knee hurt. Tobias Harris going to be out for several more games due to health and safety protocols with COVID. So there's 105 milli out of the lineup, and they win by 10. So 7 Sixers reached double figures. Seth Curry, 23, Nang, 21. Andre Drummond, 14 points, 15 boards, 7 assists, and 5 steals. I mean, there's a stat line. Jeez. So the Bulls stunned the Celtics, 128-114 on Monday, trailed by 19 late in the third, and DeMar DeRozan, 37 points, Levine, 26, Vucevic, 11, 10, and 9. Viper says Philadelphia is 5-0 straight up in his last 5 games when playing at home against Chicago. Christopher Comedy says talk to him like you did Jose, Jimmy. All right. Viper says open ball, smack him. Okay, here we go. Wham Bam, take it away. Oh, wait, let me take a look at the money here. Sorry, very quickly.
Yeah, please.
4,463 tickets in. 61% of the tickets on the Bulls, 86% of the cash on the Bulls. And then 59% of tickets on the under, but just 39% of cash on the under. So 39% of cash on the under. So big bets coming in on the over. And again, it opened at 215.5, and it is now at 215.5. No movement. Take it away.
Yeah, man, this Bulls teams, man, they shocked the fuck out of me for sure in that last game against the Celtics. But, I mean, that may be just a knock against the Celtics. Let's start there. And then let's talk about the Bulls here, man. They have been covering. They've actually been shooting really well over the last 5 games. Number 5 in three-point percentage at 38%. My guy Alonzo's a key contributor in that. Shout out to him. But here, I think they're going to play against a tougher defense here, the team that has a deeper bench. And the 76ers, we already seen that without Embiid and Tobias Harris out the lineup. These guys are key, though, for sure. I want to make sure those guys are in the lineup before I just start yumming here, jumping my gums here, because obviously Tobias Harris out for COVID, so he's not coming back. And we know about Ben Simmons, but it's about Embiid, right? Is Embiid going to be playing in this game? He is. He's
not on the injury report at all.
Right. So that gives me the point that he's going to play. I think that they're the better team here. I think the Sixers are the smash by here because they're the better team. Now, let's start there with the coach, though, because, I mean, I like what Billy Donovan's been doing, man. I mean, ever since he's been on this Bulls team, he's kind of has been changing the culture here. So, man, it's kind of tough to go ahead and bet against the Bulls team because I haven't bet with them yet this year, so I haven't cashed any of their tickets that they've been cashing. And I haven't been fading them neither. I've been staying away from these games because I just want to watch them. But this seems like I need to be involved in the Sixers. I think the Sixers are just the better team. So the -2. I think Embiid, if he's in, man, I just got to see it to believe it. You know what I mean? Motherfucker could be a healthy scratch or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, I got to see it to believe it first. But if he's in, I think it's the Sixers spot here for sure.
57% of the tickets on the Bulls, 86% of the cash. And on the money line, it's even more, 81% of the tickets and 84% of the cash. Why do you think sharps are making bets on the Bulls here?
They've been showing good, man. They've been playing good, shooting the lights out. Again, fifth in threes, man, over the last 5 games, covering games. You know, one thing I would say, though, in these meetings, they haven't been playing good against Philadelphia. They are 1-6 ATS in the last 7 meetings, so they haven't been playing that good against this team. I just think the Sharps, I think a lot of people like the Bulls, not just Sharps. I think it's a lot of money coming in on the Bulls. They've been pretty much a public darling since the preseason, so it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough. That's the reason why I've been staying away from them, man, and staying away from betting against them too. I've been actually successful because I've been wanting to fade them early on, and I would have been losing my money. So me staying away from these games has actually been making me money by staying away.
When the Lakers covered against the Cavs, the big bets were all coming in on the Lakers,
right?
To the extent where I was like, I should probably buy out of this, and I didn't. And it makes me not want to take the Sixers here. If these big bets are coming in on the Bulls at this point, I think it's important to respect that. Money line or spread says I don't trust the Sixers. If I didn't respect that, I would back the Sixers here. But God, the Bulls are so confident right now. Michael O'Brien says, I like the Bulls because they win and cover. They got better with DeRozan and Ball. Jimmy Gomez says, may need to see the game. Best would be an in-game bet. So Chicago should be an elite or a complete letdown. Okay, I guess no move at this point. But
no move for me, but
the total
Sixers
staring at me in the face because this is a spot where this total hasn't moved and there's sharp bets on the over. The problem is the pace of both these teams has been
real slow.
Quite slow. Is that enough?
Dead last for Philly.
Yeah.
Last 5 games and for the season. Dead last for them.
Top shelf looking at Steph Curry props. If the pace wasn't so slow, what happens to the pace when Embiid's out there?
I mean, you know what? It's still the same as it's always been. Like, a lot of half-court game face-ups. But I mean, I haven't really been watching too many. I didn't watch the game without Embiid, so I didn't see their pace without him. I would love to see that game. You know what I mean? Just to see, what type of speed they were doing with Shake Milton there. But I'm not really sure I could comment on that. But as far as this team, I just think that they're maybe the better team from the 7th to 8th guy all the way there. So that's probably what I'm saying.
All right, no move yet, but we have a huge card, and we'll take one more look after we've broken them all down. Next up, Raptors 5-3, 3-0 on the road. Wizards 5-2, 3-0 at home. Who would have thought that these two teams would start out 10-5 combined? We're at Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. See what Action says the opening line here was for this. Raptors is 3-point dogs, and the total at 216.5. And here we have the Raptors as 3.5-point dogs, and this total all the way down to 212.5. So a 4-point move towards the under. Dennis Trusty says, horseplay today. Do we believe in fairy tales? No, but do we believe in hunches and circumstances? Miggy Mania, who unfortunately died 3 days ago on a Kentucky highway, was going to ride in the 5th and 6th race, 12-1, 65 odds. Give me the Churchill 5th race double at 5-3. No, I don't believe in fairy tales or that hunch either, trusting myself. But I will be I'm very curious to see if those cash for you are copied and pasted them. Ron Crawford says liking Toronto plus 3.5. Let's move over to the cash flow. 2,874 tickets in. 59% of the tickets, 89% of the cash on the Wizards, and 68% of the tickets, 85% of the cash on the over. So 41% of the tickets on the Raptors and just 11% of the cash. Raptors have won 4 straight. Started the season with 3 consecutive road victories for the first time since 2016-17. OG goes for 36 Monday at Madison Square Garden. And they must be feeling good about themselves. And I can understand that the Wizards always play us tough. And Raptors were down by as many as 15. Scotty Barnes dealing with a sprained right thumb. So we don't know if he's going to be in the lineup here tonight. Mikhailuk starting in his place, 15 points, 5 assists, 5 boards. Achua only played 17 minutes. Kem Birch came in 6 points, 8 boards, 1 block shot, 2 steals. I love the guy. Wizards lost 118-111 to Atlanta on Monday to snap a 3-game winning streak. So Spencer Dinwiddie did not play Thursday, and Daniel Gafford missed the previous 2 games. So it's expected that Dinwiddie, Gafford will be in the lineup. Bradley Beal goes for 24 on Monday. He was 3 of 11 from 3. He shot 22.9% from threes this season. So it's not just Dame who's not shooting at all. It's Beal as well. And Davis Bertans suffered a sprained left ankle on a dunk, so he's questionable, probably unlikely. And there's Joshua Kiokanlaya in the house, fresh off of catching that football that Jimmy G threw into the stands. Came down in the hands of Joshua Kiokanlaya. So shout out to Wham and Jimmy. Bulls game over, and I guess that's Harden over his threes. Wow, I love it, Joshua. Okay, take it away here, Wham Bam, Raptors Wizards.
Lauri Markkanen was ruled out as well. We got to add that in there because we did bring up the Cavs there. Wow, that's big news right there. Health and safety protocols. Is some other guys going to be out because contract tracing? Hopefully, no.
Kevin Love is also out if you count him as a big player too.
Yeah, but he's actually been playing pretty well. But yeah, let's go into this game. The Raptors, man, come on, man. They've been playing really, really well. Effective field goal percentage in the top 10 in the last 5 games as well. Let's note that their offense has been, kind of shady. But, I mean, look at what Gary Trent Jr. is doing, man. Gary Trent Jr. pretty much doing it all from the get-go, from day one. He's my guy that I've been liking to see here from the Raptors. I like the over here, though, because in this meeting, it's been going over every time these guys play. Why not keep going at it over the last 10 over the last 12 games, 8 over the last 10 games. This total has been on over at this number as well, 213.5. So I do expect to see some type of defense, though, because you're thinking about the Raptors this year. That's the first thing I think about is defense, not necessarily just offense. But this Washington team is kind of bit me. I got bit last time on a Kuzma over rebounds. I low-key kind of want to go back to it again because it's been cashing all the way up until the last game. So maybe I just keep going back to the well with that. But in this game, I think it's only a Raptor spot for me. I like the way they just been playing. Again, though, I would take this as well. As much as I've been losing money with the Boston Celtics, I've been losing money trying to fade the Wizards too. Wes Unsted Jr. has been fucking phenomenal. Our guy Ian did bring that up last show. I definitely want to reiterate what he said. Wes Unsted Jr., the coach for the Washington Wizards, man, he's been freaking phenomenal there. And what they've been doing, it has been shocking me. So I kind of would stay away from this game. But anything, I'm thinking Raptors here, bro. I was kind of hoping that you'd talk me into it, bro, honestly, because I had a strong lean. I almost made the bet last night, but I thought I'd just talk to you about it first.
Well, it's just, basketball comes down to so many psychological situations. And Raptors are down 15 in Madison Square Garden, getting embarrassed, and they play their best basketball this season. Then they show out in Madison Square Garden in the most important basketball court in the world, and are out in New York the night after, feeling like bosses. And it's the kind of psychological spot that you don't want to back somebody. In fact, it makes me think that Wizards early
are the play then, huh?
Are the play. Doesn't that make it, after everything goes so right, why wouldn't the Wizards be up at the end of the first half here? And that's what I'm going to bet. In fact, I think the Wizards probably win this basketball game. Everything went so right against the Knicks. It just feels like that's not. They're 3-0 on the road. Are they going to start this year 4-0 on the road? Wizards are undefeated at home, and we're getting this nice number on the Wiz. The Wiz are going to have Dinwiddie and Gafford back in.
Yeah, Dinwiddie and Gafford is big. I mean, Gafford played, I think, last time, but he was on a minutes restriction. But this time he should probably get that a little bit loosened up there. I agree with you. I kind of would agree with you here. It does show that they have a pretty good, decent offensive rating in the first half over the last 5 games as well for this Washington team. And if anything, you could think about them winning the offensive battle just based off of what we've seen with, it's a lot of guys out for the Raptors, you know what I mean? But again, man, I love this Raptors team, bro. So I thought to take them. That's why I'm going to stay away.
I don't know why I would take, in all honesty, now I think about it, why I would take the first half over the full game. Birdie says Raptors have been money to the under in the first quarter to start the season. They have so much length. I love this team. Okay, I'm going to make a decision on this here by the end of the show. But Wizards, I expect to be on my card. Let's move on to Atlanta Hawks at Brooklyn Nets, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Hawks 4-3, 1-3 on the road. Nets 4-3, 3-2 at home. Atlanta 25th in pace at 99.36 possessions a game. Brooklyn 13th at 100.64 possessions a game. Let's see what action opened this up at. They had the Hawks at plus 4.5 and the total at 218. 4.5 and 218. And now we have the Hawks as 5-point dogs, and this total has gone up to 220. So both Harden and Trae Young having a difficult time with the new rules, and they're lacking their free throw attempts. And you feel like at some point they're going to get over it. Harden has begun to get over it, but clearly Trae Young is not, and he made contact with an official. I've cost him $15K, and so clearly it's in his head. Harden led the league in free throw attempts in Houston, 7 years, and he's taken only 37 foul shots, and 22 of those were in the past 2 games. So he's coming off game
crazy. Which was crazy. That was crazy. He had 19 attempts or some shit like that. It was wild.
It's just wild, yeah. 19 trips to the line, and he scored 29 points in the win over Indiana Pacers.
Wow.
Then Sunday, they beat up the Pistons. He only gets 3 free throws. He goes 18 points, 12 assists, 10 boards. So first time the Nets have won consecutive games all year. Brooklyn set a franchise record, shot 65.3%. KD went for 23 points, 10 of 13, then ejected for a flagrant foul. And the guy, he becomes more gangster by the minute. I mean, it's amazing. He's become like just, he's got some anger and some toughness there. That's just, he's getting tougher and tougher every day. Oh man, God. Okay, Hawks, Nets, take it away.
I would, huh?
I'm very interested in this spot here. Wham Bam, Hawks, Nets, Barclays Center, Brooklyn. Take it away.
Yeah, man, the Hawks, man, on the road, they've been trashed though, bro. 0-4 on the road, ATS. Doesn't seem like a team you want to back here, man. But I would say my first initial lean was the Hawks here. But I just, as I look into the numbers here and just think about the spot, it may be just a Brooklyn spot here. They're at the house. They got KD. I think this is a national televised game as well. Yeah, I think this is probably a Brooklyn spot here. For the KD props, though, I probably will stay away from him because I do think that he will have, somebody that's praying tough on him in DeAndre Hunter. But, I mean, honestly, I think that this could be a spot that you see. The fouls start to come, though. I think this is the perfect game to bring that up, though, because both of these guys have definitely been affected by the fouls. But it seems like James Harden figured it out last game. Maybe he continues to keep that on. And it seemed like they had a lot of days off, though. I haven't seen the Brooklyn team play in a while. And their last game was that Indiana game, right? Was that the last game?
Sorry, Brooklyn played on Sunday, beat up Sunday. Detroit 117-91.
Oh, yeah, and that was easy money. Okay, yeah. But, yeah, okay, so in this case, though, I honestly would just think that this is a Brooklyn spot, though, honestly, bro. I just don't see the Hawks being able to show up against this team on the road, just showing that they already lost the last 4 games, 0-4 last 4 games. It's just tough to back them on the road against this team,
I can't back a team after they shoot 65.3% from the field because that's just not happening again. They set a franchise record with their field goal percentage. So I mean, if anything, I think that they struggle with their shot in the beginning of the game and that the first half goes under.
For 220, I mean, that's kind of a low number for these teams, though.
It's a really low number. 112.5 first half.
Are they saying that there's not going to be any fouls in this game? Is that what they're saying here?
CT basis, Brooklyn's gone under in every game. Take the under 229. It's gone up 1.5 right now. Let's go back to here we have 71% of tickets, 76% of cash on the Nets, 52% of tickets, 91% of cash on the under, and it's gone up to 220. Huh. And CD basis, Brooklyn had the great shooting night, and the game still went under. And Kev Riley's best bet was on Portland -3 last night, now 5.5. The line movement, Kev, is because COVID's going through Cleveland, so we know that Kevin Love was going to be there. We've just been told that Markkanen will not be in the lineup for Cleveland either.
Okay, and you know what though? Now that I think about it, they had a tough night shooting for that Detroit team, but because Jeremy Grant was having a tough night shooting, you know what I mean? Like he's kind of their only guy there, so I kind of would take that into consideration when you think about that team. And then, you know, they shot against the Detroit Pistons that well. This is the Hawks team. They should be playing a little bit more defense. This is the reason why I don't like Kevin Durant props, but I don't know, bro. I just think that I think Brooklyn's spot here, bro. It's just screaming out to me, just like the Heat was yesterday.
And I've left so much money on the table not backing the Heat, but I'm not. There's no way I'm going to back a team after they go 65.3% from the field.
Gotcha.
Just not a chance for me. Okay, so, but I can understand the Nets now getting an opportunity to have consecutive wins and then have a few games in a row at home. So I get it. There's Nuke Worker in the house coming to us live from Darlington Nuclear. Thanks for stopping by, my man. Okay, so nothing official for you.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I want to back. I want to back Brooklyn here. That's probably where I'm going to go, just because it's just the road team fear for the Hawks shooting bad, 29% from three on the road. I just think they continue to do that shit. So, you know, I haven't bet it yet, so I just wait. I wait until I make the bet here. So I'm gonna just stop on the Brooklyn here.
So we have John Collins with the left foot strain listed as questionable here. So this is the first of a back-to-back. So they say there's a real chance that Collins will miss this game. And then Bogdanovich is probable and Herter is probable.
Probable, yeah, he's going to be in there.
Brady says, who's playing defense in this game? Now would be the time to bet the over 220. Seems like the books have adjusted. Hawks first half, and that's full game.
That's what I'm thinking too. I'm thinking that as well. I can see the first half Hawks as well, but I'm not going to bet. I'm not going to split this. I'm going to just take it one unit straight for the Brooklyn Nets, win a full game by 7-8 points. That's how I would think, but I'll stay away from it for now, just because I haven't made the bet yet.
And Tyrone Coleman agreeing with Birdie. Ray Charles says, if no Collins night, Trae Young over in points.
Yeah.
So let's just go over this Atlanta spot one more time. So they come in off that 118-111 win at home. How they come up? Okay, I wonder if this is. But we need to know about Collins. I just feel like I would like to attack Brooklyn early in this game because I just don't see them shooting lights out after breaking a franchise record in field goal percentage.
Gotcha.
I'm going to think about that a little more here. And I'm very close to moving on the Wizards. We'll get to that in a second. 8 p.m. Eastern next up, Denver Nuggets and Memphis Grizzlies. And there's just Daryl in the house. Great to see you, my man. We have John Doe said, put your house and kids on the Denver Nuggets tonight, guys. Thank me tomorrow. Says thank me tomorrow. Nuggets 4-3, 2-2 on the road. Grizzlies 4-3, 2-1 at home. We're at FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee. Let's start with where Action Network had this opening here. Let's move here. We have it opening with Grizzlies -1 and the total at 213.5. Now at Bet365, we have the Grizzlies -1 and the total at 215.5. So it's gone up 2 points. Let's take a look at the cash in this game. 3,316 tickets in. 60% of the tickets on the Nuggets, 93% of the cash on the Nuggets in the spread. And then 36% of tickets on the under, 99% of cash on the under, and yet it's gone up 1.5 points. Don't panic, says I like the over in this game. Okay. So Denver paced 21st in the league, 99.64 possessions game. Memphis 17th at 100.08. The Grizzlies snapped a 3-game losing streak to the Nuggets, beating them on Monday night, 106-97. So Morant is shooting 38.5% from three, 82.5% from the line, averaging 28.3 points per game, 7.7 assists, 5.4 boards. Tyus Jones put up 17 and 8 boards in the last game. Jokic, we saw him leave the Utah game with the right knee bruise, but he looks great right now. So 23.7 boards, 7 assists in Monday's loss. Michael Porter Jr. is another player who's just not hitting buckets right now. 34.5% from the field, 23.3% from three, and went 0 for 3 from 3 in that last game on Monday, and finished with 10 points in 36 minutes. The Nuggets shot 23.7% from beyond the arc in Monday's loss. Do they bounce back here on the road? Lit Pick says Nuggets revenge spot. Very interesting. Take it away, Nuggets Grizzlies.
Yeah, man. I think this is a revenge spot here. But what we will say here, though, is that when you see these second games on the back, you kind of just would tend to go with the other game here, take the other opposite side of it. So obviously the under hit last time, maybe taking the over here in this game. And you've seen it happen last game, I believe yesterday. I forgot what game it was, but it was the same scenario here in the over cash. I think it was the Laker game. My apologies. The Lakers in the Houston game. And I think that's the same here. I think the over might be live here with this game. As far as that, I like the props here. And obviously, if I'm thinking props, first thing I think about Memphis Grizzlies is Desmond Bane over 14.5 points. Last game, he had 11 points. But before that, he did go over this total every game. So he didn't hit it last game. I think the over is probably in play here. So his points should be going up here. So I like the Desmond Bane over 14.5 points. That's something I did bet. So I am making that official here. But I do like this I'm sorry, not the Grizzlies, but I like the Nuggets side here. I did have the first quarter last game. I do like that again this time around. But I think the Nuggets could pull this off, get the revenge factor here. Grizzlies have been playing tough, though, all the way around. I do like this team all the way around long term. I do think they have the best bench. I'm probably hearing me say that all the time, every time we talk about the Grizzlies. I do like this team in all, but for the most part, I think this is a good revenge spot for the Nuggets. Being that they already been in Memphis, they already went through all that. They kind of got settled in. They could play here and play up. I think they get their shots off, and they play a lot better last game. They shot bad from 23%. I think they're going to play a lot better there on that side. So I like the over here, and then I like the Nuggets. But my number one official play here will be Desmond Bane over 14.5 points. I think he continues to play better here and play better than he did last game over the 14.5. And I got it at the juice there. My apologies, bro. It got at minus 106. Minus 106.
Minus 106, Bane over 14.5 points.
Yes, sir.
You know, I get it. But I get the fact that the Nuggets are going to bounce back. And you know, I thought that, you know, I was all over the over in the Lakers Rockets. But a lot of that had to do with these superstar young guards getting another chance to play in LA after the first one went so poorly. So it was pretty clear they were going to have a better game. And I probably should have made more money off of it than just the one bet on the full game. But here, I just want a bigger reward for backing a road team to beat Memphis. And maybe it's the market's telling us it's the play, but I want a plus line beside my money line. I'm getting minus 105 here, bet 365. Like, it's just, you know, this Nuggets team's 2-2 on the road. The Grizzlies are trying to make FedEx Forum a real tough place to play. And, yeah, so I don't like it. I get it, but I just don't think the risk reward is appropriate here. I expect the Nuggets to bounce back early, but I don't know if I want them late. But I expect them to bounce back early. I think they'll play well early. I wonder what they are. The first quarter plus a half is minus 120. I certainly don't want minus 120 juice. So
yeah,
I guess
that's what I was leaning to. I was leaning first quarter. I like the first quarter here for the Nuggets. But again, I think the full game is probably in effect as well. You know, I think this is definitely a bounce back spot. This Memphis team, they were giving up over the last 5 games before that game. They were giving up 112 points per game to opponents, and they hold them to 90. You know what I mean? Like, they ain't doing that again.
I think that the Nuggets can stay focused sitting here in Memphis. And they stayed in Memphis, I imagine. That I don't see why they would leave. Puzzler said, did they stay in Memphis or fly home and back again? They would have stayed in Memphis for sure.
Memphis, bro.
Yeah, I like the Nuggets first quarter. I'm going to take them first quarter. Coming off the loss, not playing very well, staying together while the Grizzlies are at home, you know, dealing with families and all that stuff. But I just don't think the reward's enough to expect them to win the game outright against Memphis, who's, you know, changing the dynamic of what it takes to win a game at FedEx Forum. So, all right, let's keep rolling. And Bane over 14.5 points at minus 106 for the Nuggets. And we are going to revisit that Wizards game because I will be locking in there. Let's move on to 8 p.m. Eastern. Los Angeles Clippers 2-4, 0-2 on the road at Minnesota Timberwolves 3-3, 2-3 at home. We're at Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. These teams both playing with pace. Clippers 6th in the NBA at 101.92 possessions a game, while Minnesota 8th at 101.83 possessions a game. We have this opening up as Clippers at +1, and the total at 214.5. Right now at Bet365, we could get the Clippers as -1.5, and this total at 212.5. So this total has dropped 2 points from the opening line. When we go over to the cash flow, 51% of the tickets on Minnesota and 98% of the cash. Now, that's only 1,954 tickets in, but that's alarming. Then you have 52% of tickets on the over and 67% of cash on the over. So Clippers are looking for their first back-to-back wins of the season. Dropped 4 of their first 5. Coming off 99-94 home win over Oklahoma City on Monday night. Paul George goes for 32, 9, and 7. Also adds 3 steals in the block. But they shot 3 of 21 from three-point range in the first half and battled back, and that's impressive. George is averaging 28.3 points per game. Only 2 other players averaging in double figures, Jackson at 14.2 and Kennard at 12.7. Wolves are coming off an ugly 115-97 loss at home to the Magic. Minnesota was outscored 43-19 in the fourth quarter. Cat finished 23-16, and he's averaging 24.8. Ant averaging 23.2, and D'Angelo Russell averaging 14.8, but we don't know if he's going to be available tonight. He has an ankle injury that he's dealing with. He didn't practice yesterday. And same with Patrick Beverley, sore calf muscle. So he's played in 4 of the games this year, and he's important to have out there when he is healthy. I'm interested in fading the Clippers. Do we expect the Timberwolves to bounce back here after that disappointing fourth quarter?
I think the Timberwolves going to bounce back because D'Lo is out the lineup too. He was looking bad over these last few games. You know what I mean? As far as this Timberwolves team, just defense, man. Defense. They play defense, man. They'd be a really good team. They could just ball out. Patrick Beverley being questionable, I mean, I'm not really worried or concerned about that, but he does bring us some type of, energy on the defensive side of the ball for the second unit. The Clippers, man, they looked terrible against that damn OKC game, bro. I mean, maybe his OKC just looks good, and I was on the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander points, rebounds, and assists last game, so I did cash there. But, I mean, they just allowed them to do whatever the hell they want. The Clippers team is kind of concerning there for me. I think against this team and the Timberwolves, they could find themselves, falling flat here, especially being on the road. I think what my guy Daryl just said right there, the first half, Minnesota probably is the play. I think they could fall flat early, and Minnesota could possibly pull this off here. I think Minnesota is a streaky team, though, so they can't start a streak, and they can keep things alive. They fall their faces normally towards the end of the game, so maybe the first half is the play here, but I think D'Lo is probably going to help them being off the floor. I think that's for sure. He's probably going to help them being off the floor. The defensive wise, for sure, that's going to help them, but just maybe as far as a rhythm. And you already seen Ant-Man when he gets the ball, he can take over the game. I think he can take over this game. It's just Paul George has been playing lights out too. So, and they did shoot really bad last game against OKC. So I can see them playing well here. So it kind of gives me a little bit of way of staying away from this game. And as far as the props or the total, it would get me to stay away from it as well, because I just think that, like you said, these guys can play with pace. But I think these two matchups, I think I see a lot of defense,
Really? Because I'm shocked at this total being so low. Opening at 214.5, even that surprises me. Dropping 2 points to 212.5. Maybe it's just on the D'Angelo Russell news, but with teams playing with this much pace,
right,
and the Clippers coming off an off shooting game, how could it possibly be this low?
It just seemed like the matchup wise, bro. I just every time I'm looking at these two teams, like the way I'm thinking out who's going to guard who, I could just see defensive plays being happening here in this game, and especially with the questions. I think Cat is hurt though. He's playing, but I think he's still hurt. I don't know. I just think this. I could see the reasoning for the total being so low, and I understand it too, because like you said, these guys, I can see scoring as well. These guys can make their threes. Luke Kennard over the last few games has been looking really nice for the Clippers. Knocking down shots. The person that sticks out to me for the Timberwolves, I mean, again, it's Ant-Man. I don't think nobody's going to be able to stop him, but I could see Paul George being able to lock him down a little bit, but it's tough though, man. I think it's a stay away game for me. This is what my guy Dutch would say, a backwood, in my opinion, just because I think these two teams kind of fairly match each other well. But I would say the strongest lean would be the first half Timberwolves. I think they can fall a little bit flat early on. What you seen again against OKC?
Wolves are 0-6 to the under. Clips 105 to the under. I'm betting the over right now. Over.
I'm mad at you.
Full game. These teams are just playing too fast. They're playing too fast, and the Clippers coming off a game where they go 3 of 21 from 3. Now they get to head on the road. Let's get out of LA, go to Minneapolis, and get right.
Over the last 7 times these guys played in Minnesota, the Clippers, it went over all 7 times.
And the games just keep going under and under and under for these two teams. We know that's not going to continue. So Shane Schwader now says Bulls all night. 76ers, no Tobias and Green for Shane Schwader. All right, I'm on the over in Clippers, Minnesota Timberwolves full game. Let's move on to 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Dallas Mavericks 4-3, 1-2 on the road at San Antonio Spurs 2-5, 1-2 at home. AT&T Center in San Antonio, Texas. Dallas, San Antonio. We have San Antonio opening up at +1. And this total at 214.5. This total's gone up to 216. The Spurs are still 1-point dogs. Let's move over to the cash flow here in the Spurs game. 1,853 tickets in. 48% of the tickets on the Spurs. 97% of cash on the Spurs. 55% of tickets on the under. 43% of cash on the under. Dallas pace 26th, 98.57 possessions a game. The Spurs are 10th at 101.56 possessions a game. Spurs are coming off a 131-118 loss at Indiana on Monday. Pacers shot 63.8% from the floor in the first half, and Pop called them out for not being ready to play. DeJounte Murray led the Spurs with 16 points and went scoreless in the second half. Vassell added 15, Derek White 13 and 7. Spurs have dropped 5 of their past 6. They're just 1-2 at home, and Dougie McBuckets missed all 3 games of this road trip with a right knee issue. He'll be a game-time decision. Mavericks come in for the second game of a home road back-to-back. They lose 125-110 to Miami on Tuesday. Luka goes for 33 in the loss. Brunson 25, Hardaway 17, Bullock 10. Mavericks will be without Maxi Kleber, who has the oblique injury. KP missed his 4th straight game. We don't know what's going on with the lower back injury, if he'll be available. Trey Burke could return to action Wednesday. He's unvaccinated, so he didn't arrive in time for testing. That's why he was unavailable. It's not that he has it or anything. And then Mavericks beat the Spurs 104-99 in Dallas on Thursday. This screams to me Spurs. Spurs. Do we move on it?
I think we do move on to Spurs here, man. I just love the way Pop has been coaching, bro, lately. And the back-to-back scenario for the Mavericks, I do know that KP is questionable. If he's out there, I think it's going to even be better for the Spurs. KP sucks ass, hasn't played well all year. Bring his ass out there for you guys to have to, force him into the game plan. I think the Spurs is definitely live here, bro. That's the play that I really want to talk to you about. I'm just right here ready to put this in, and I think money line is the play here. I like the Spurs a lot here. DeJounte Murray's not getting any respect on the props. Yeah, I love this look.
Yeah, and after Pop called them out for not being ready to play early, I like them early, but the Mavs are probably an angry group as well, and we want to have the fourth quarter involved in this bet if the Mavs are going to be tired. So let's take a look here once more on this Spurs spot. 97% cash on the Spurs. Small amount of tickets, but just feels like the Spurs spot. So if that is the case, then why is the market not moving? Why are the Spurs not becoming favorites? Why do they want us to bet the Spurs here?
It may be just basically like recent bias that you see this team off of back-to-back. So, a lot of people are going to bet it here. The statistical numbers are telling the Spurs as well, though, guys. Like, let's just be there. Like, as far as this team and points in the paint, they are number 1 in points in the paint this year. The San Antonio Spurs averaging 54 points in the paint. This team on the other side, they're allowing the 14th most. You know what I mean? So at 45, so they're giving it up too. So I just see this Mavericks team just folding here. And I don't like anything that they're doing. As far as their road numbers, let me look up their road numbers. I forgot their road numbers as well. I don't think their road numbers are anything to be bragging about or anything. But the San Antonio Spurs tend to play on well at the house. You got that going for you as well. And then I'll obviously here, my apologies, actually on the road. So they only play 3 road games here, 1 and 2. But I just see this being a good spot for the Spurs. And I believe they did beat them already, right?
Yeah, the Mavs won already. Yeah. Sweaty Butcher saying the one thing I don't like about the Spurs is the spot. First game home off road trips, usually a fade spot, but it was just a 3-game road trip. It's not like they traveled a great distance or anything like that. So I do agree with you generally, but this is not yeah, I think this has got to be it. I think this has got to be it. I just don't. If this had switched from +1 to -1, I'd be like, okay, look, this is they don't want us. That's the only fear I have at this point. But Spurs got to be to play full game here against the tired Maverick squad. Okay, and Ray Charles says nobody stopping Podol. Grab the double-double at +140. All right, is this and Cap a lot pop says trust me, play the day Mavs under. Trust me. Is this official spot for you?
Yeah, this is an official spot for me. San Antonio Spurs money line. I think you could get the best bet. There's maybe at -108. -108.
Spurs -108.
Yeah, I'm locking that in right now, bro. You know what? I honestly think that this line is going to move, so it makes sense to get it in now. Get in while you can, because KP news it could push it towards the Mavericks, but I highly doubt it. I really highly doubt it.
And this total now at 216 from an opener at 214.5. And pace-wise, Dallas playing slow, San Antonio playing faster. Sweaty Butcher says, why not take the +1.5 at -110? I have +1 available at -110. I don't have +1.5 available.
Yeah, I didn't have a +1.5. I only have +1, so might as well just.
What's your +1 at?
The +1 was at -110, I think.
Would you rather? That's probably worth the 2 cents.
Oh no, it's my apologies. It was -1. It's -1.
Spurs has moved to -1 in your book.
FanDuel is at -1.
Okay, good. That's what I want to hear. But I can give you right now. Let me just make sure it's not stale. I can give you the Spurs right now +1 at -110 at Bet365. You want that?
Yeah, I take that. I'll take that. That's better.
I think that makes sense for 2 cents.
Appreciate
okay,
that.
I'm going to come with you here, and I'd like to FanDuel move the Spurs to -1. Okay, let's move on, and I'm going to roll with you on the Spurs here. 10 p.m. Eastern, Charlotte Hornets at Golden State Warriors. We have 2 games left on the card, this being one of those. Chase Center, San Francisco, California. Hornets 5-3, 3-1 on the road. Warriors 5-1, 2-1 at home. Both teams playing with pace. Charlotte 5th in the NBA, 101.92 possessions a game. Golden State 3rd at 102.39 possessions a game. We have this opening up with the Warriors -6 and the total at 224. And at Bet365 right now, Warriors are now -5.5, and this total's gone up to 226.5. So it's gone up 2.5 points. Let's see if the cash correlates with those moves here. 4,690 tickets in. 23% of the tickets, 27% of the cash on the Hornets. And yet it's moved half point towards them. Then we have 34% of tickets on the under, so the public on the over, but 67% of the cash on the under. And it's moved to 226.5. Eric Jones liking the over. And Sweaty Butcher says 2 cents for a point is a steal. I agree. Okay, Michael Bryan says totals were way higher last year. It's just because of the fouls, right? They changed the rules with the fouls. That's been the biggest difference in totals this year. All right, so Charlotte just completes games against Portland and Cleveland. Just completed a homestand, Portland, Cleveland. LaMelo goes for 27 and 30. 9 of 17 on 3-pointers. He's got 26 threes on the season. He's hitting at 44.1%, and very, very, very impressive. And he picked up 2 early fouls in the first 3 minutes and 50 seconds of the game, eventually fouled out. So it's impressive that he can keep his head in the game when dealing with these foul troubles. It eventually knocks him out of the game, but still puts up a really nice shooting effort. Birdie says over in the Warriors for me, same situation as the Nets, taking the team that will score more. Carlos Luger's already on the over, and just Durrell looking at the Hornets first half. So both of these teams, for whatever reason, have been better on the road, which is very strange and clearly will change as this moves forward. James Wiseman has been cleared to return to practice. He'll be a nice addition to this team. And this is an 8-game homestand for the Golden State Warriors. What an excellent opportunity for them to make hay. Is this a spot you are interested in backing them? It's very interesting that the market's gone from 6 to 5.5, even though all the tickets are coming in on the Warriors. Makes me think the Hornets are going to keep this game close. Take it away, Wham. Hornets, Warriors.
This game is so interesting, man. It's the pick that could have and would have if they would have relied and actually been true to their word here. Golden State Warriors told LaMelo Ball at draft night that they're going to draft him. Fucked around and draft James Wiseman. So now they got this guy coming in hot, scorching hot from deep, and his team is also scorching hot from deep, shooting the number one in the last 5 games, 42% from three. Man, the Hornets, bro, they're just looking really nice, man. I do not want to bet against them, but if I would, it would be the Golden State Warriors because you could just see Steph just holding on to the moment, being out, balling out as he would. I like this for the Miles Bridges prop. I do like the Miles Bridges prop today for sure, guys. You guys know if you've been watching me for sure, we've been taking it. I didn't take it last game, and he didn't have it against the Cavs because I just thought the Cavs was just tough. And sure enough, I'm glad I did stay away from it. But he did have 18 attempts in that game. So he did get 18 attempts off. Just only had 13 points in there. It's at 19 right now, 19 and a half against this Golden State Warriors team. I think that is the play here for me for the Miles Bridges prop. I already bet it at 19 and a half. Got it at minus 104 at the opener. I think right now it's at minus 108, if I'm not mistaken, bro. I think the best you get at minus 10. Let me double check. Minus 106. Minus 106. So minus 106 for Miles Bridges there. For the most part, though, in this game, I like Golden State Warriors in the full game here, though. I would be lying if I say I don't think they're going to win this game because they actually showed pretty well in their last game. I just think that this Hornets teams, they just give up too many points on offense there. As much as they're the best in the offense there, I think 117 points over the last 5 games, they actually been giving it up as well. So they've been giving up points to the opposition here. I can see them putting up points here. I like the over as well, but number one play for me, the only bet that I made in this game was Miles Bridges over 19 and a half points. I think we could go back to the well with that in this spot. I don't think they have nobody to really guard him here. And he's been playing really well. I think he's going to continue to play that well in this game.
I would be very curious to see how high this total goes up. I think this is going to be an emotional game.
I believe it.
The Hornets, with LaMelo playing the way he is, has just changed the dynamic of them coming to arenas. And I think he's going to do everything he can. I love what you brought up about getting skipped over in the draft. We have spreadsheet plays of the day are Carolina and NIU. 2 spreadsheet plays of the day for Ron Crawford. Carolina on the ice and NIU in football. We're going to close capping the 2 NCAA football games. We still have one more game to cap here. I'm curious to see how high this goes because it sounds like everybody wants to be on the over. Everybody wants to have this over tonight. And if it keeps climbing, I'm curious to try and sneak under it. Only if it keeps climbing. I'd like it around 228 or so. But both teams playing with pace right now. Miles Bridges over 19.5 minus 104. Seeing the market move a half point towards Charlotte when all this money is coming in on the Warriors makes me think this is a Charlotte or no bet. Personally, just reading the market. So I'm going to stay off of this spot at this point.
I think I see 6s out there though now. I see 6s out there for the Hornets. Yeah, I see 6s. I see 6 at Bovada. I see a 6 at FanDuel for Hornets.
Okay, I will be watching because then I guess it makes sense. Even though it did open though at 6, so
okay.
I'm going to keep an eye on all of this, and we will make moves accordingly. We have one more game on the docket here. Pelicans 1-7, 1-3 on the road. The Sacramento Kings 3-4, 0-2 at home at the Golden One Center in Sacramento, California. And we have this opening up here. Pelicans Kings as Kings 5.5 point favorites, and the total at 220.5. Kings are playing good ball right now. Now they're 4.5 point favorites, so it's dropped a point, and the total's gone down to 1 point to 219.5. When we go over to the cash, we see 2,194 tickets in. 27% of the tickets, 53% of the cash on the Pelicans, and it's moved 1 point in their direction, so that makes sense. Then we have 37% of tickets on the over, but 51% of cash on the over, and it's moved a point. Taylor MacArthur, T-Mac, is on the Kings first half in the over 221. Uncle Oliver, it's all good, but you're here with family. This is where you don't need to stress about any of that stuff, man. And Lex Steele is on the Pelicans and the under. Sacramento Kings team total over for Arthur Mee Jr. Both teams are on the second half of a back-to-back So New Orleans last night led the Suns by as many as 20 and then lose 112-100 to begin this 4-game trip. 4 straight loss. They were outscored 36-18 in the fourth quarter. Josh Hart put up 16 points in his second consecutive start in place of Brandon Ingram, who's dealing with a hip contusion. Valanciunas is 6 straight double-double with 23 points, 14 boards. Devontae Graham had 12 points. Nickeil Alexander-Walker had 10. He's got to do better. Sacramento was in front of Utah, with 5 minutes left in that game. Sacramento played really well. Down just 2 points with 23.4 seconds left. End up losing 119-113 to the Jazz. They start a 4-game homestand here against the Pelicans. It'll be interesting to see. They look good on this last road trip. De'Aaron Fox had 23 points on Friday, but just 4-15 and 0-4 from 3 for 13 points against the Jazz. Harrison Barnes scored 23 points to lead 7 Kings scorers in double figures. And Sacramento's bench outscored Utah's 41-19. Last game on the board, Wham, Pelicans Kings. Take it away.
Yeah, both of these teams, like my guy said, the second leg of a back-to-back. On the road for the Pelicans here. I do still like the Pelicans. I like what my guy Ski Prophet said in the chat. Would you lay it with 4.5 for the Sacramento Kings? I don't think they're worth it here, but they did play well, like my guy Jimmy said. They did play well in that game against Utah. I was on Utah, so they did take my money there, but I was also on the Jonas Valanciunas over points and assists. Man, points just went all the way up. That was my best bet yesterday. Definitely feel good to go right back to the well again against this team, Sacramento. I don't feel too shabby on that, but obviously with the injury news, we got to see what's going on here. Brandon Ingram, questionable, is definitely going to be a big point if he's going to go over this points for Jonas Valanciunas there. So I'm going to be looking in, possibly waiting for that one. But I this game is probably a backwood for me, though, honestly, just because I think the Kings, even though they don't, they deserve to be laying 4.5, I could see them covering it, honestly. This Pelican team, they do find themselves in offensive struggles throughout the year so far. And I think a lot of that has to do with what their team is, just kind of like brought on. It's based off of, a lot of shooting from the guard what they just brought in. I just got fucking blank out on his name there from Charlotte. And then also, Brandon Ingram. And Brandon Ingram was not in the game. There was those two guys, there's really a lot of their offense. But I do like Jonas Valanciunas for sure to probably continue to eat on the props market here. Sacramento, I don't think they're really that nice. I like Rashawn Holmes up there, but down low, I don't think they have nobody that's really going to stop him. So I wouldn't take the Sacramento Kings, but honestly, the way I'm looking at the numbers here, I probably would lean their way on the spread here, but the over is probably the spot that I do like because I just don't see any defense from either team here. So I would probably lean towards the over here, even though I think the Pelicans are slow in pace, if I'm not mistaken. I think they are
Pelicans
pretty slow.
15th so far this year, the 100.56 possessions a game, while Sacramento 7th. I'm interested in the over as well. Especially, De'Aaron Fox coming off such a poor game offensively. You leave Utah, you come back home to Sacramento. These are going to be 2 tired teams. So, defensively, are they going to be covering the perimeter? Will they be sharp? That's the only issue I have. When you see teams on the second half of a back-to-back, do you generally think that there will be more offense because they'll be tired legs, or do you think their shooting percentages will go down as they won't elevate enough?
I think they're going to play more into on the offensive side. They're trying to get their stats. You know what I mean? They're just going to allow defenders to go by. That's how I tend to think here, especially in this day and age for the NBA. But another thing is to add on here that even though this is probably like a large spread for the Sacramento Kings, this is actually a humongous spread with the new rule changes because really you having like a 6 point advantage or on a team coming in. That's not even that much of a long shot if a team is playing good defense. So I can see the Pelicans hanging in here. It's kind of the reason why I called it a backwood originally because I don't think I really want to put my money in this game.
I think Just Daryl says Kings play tough second quarter. That's why the first half does so well. I guess I am leaning towards the over in this spot. Sacramento playing 7th fastest pace, but that game took a lot out of them. I mean, they really put out all their effort against the Jazz. Maybe I'll just leave a question mark right there. All right, let's go with a quick review of NBA action and what we have as official picks right now. Again, Wham, third show. This is third show. First two shows, he's 5-1. 5-1 plus 4.4 units. We start with the Blazers Cavaliers, and Wham was close to moving on Mobley until we spoke about what's going to happen for him his first time coming back to his penthouse apartment, with after a road trip and getting into his fucking Lambo and doing whatever he does, man. Are you going to move on to Mobley double-double?
Nah, I'm going to stay away from it, bro. Just now that we talk about Mobley, all I think about is VR settings and shit. I'm going to leave it alone, bro.
Brittany says, can't wait for Saturday. What time will it be? And by the way, I'll send you those PPs here right after the show. Yes, Friday we start at 2:45 p.m. and Saturday I believe we start at 12:45 p.m. Eastern because get nice late starts because it's over on the West Coast. So that's nice. Great stuff. Okay, so no move on Mobley. Then we have Knicks Pacers, and is there any possibility that Malcolm Brogdon could come back and kind of mess up the rhythm, or that's impossible? They'll just be better with Malcolm Brogdon.
I think that would be better with Malcolm Brogdon. But you know what? I have seen him do that last year. He did do that a little bit last year when he came back from injury. I'm a little bit low on this Indiana Pacers team. I came in the season low on them, so it kind of only added on with the recent struggles. So, especially just collapsing, not being able to finish out games. So I'm only thinking Knicks here, even though I think the market move was against that, right? Was it the market move against the Knicks there, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not being too blatant of anything. We would just, you would think that if all this money was coming in on the Knicks, that they would be,
Yeah, it was something that Razor said that kind of steered me away from taking the Knicks. I remember
because 76% of the tickets, 72% in cash on the Knicks, but the market's not moving towards the Knicks.
Yeah, that's
so. That makes me want to back the Pacers, but I wonder if I'll get a better line. I expect the Pacers to end up on my card, in all honesty. Wham, you start your card with Wagner over 1.5 threes at -145. And I don't know what to do with the Celtics, and it's best just to leave them alone. Then we have Bulls, Sixers.
And also, I'm going to talk about it on the show for the Pub Hub. I'm going to also take the 2.5 as well. It's not going to be an official play, but that's kind of where I'm going to go to kind of meet the juice there. So once he gets 3, we get an extra there. But I'll leave it at 1.5. I think that's for sure. That's for sure there. So we're going to cash that. I'm not mad at the juice. Good.
All right. And then we have Bulls, Sixers, and no move at this point. I am going to move on the Washington Wizards, -3.5 at -110. I'm getting a team that's 3-0 at home. I'm getting the Raptors feeling so good about themselves. Are Raptors going to start the year 4-0 on the road? I don't think so. I'm moving on the Wizards -3.5 at -110.
Damn.
That is my first spot on the board. And then Atlanta Hawks, Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn coming off just a spectacular shooting performance, but they stay home. I don't want them after they break the franchise record. And I expect the Hawks to look good early, but we don't know what's going on with Collins. And why would I sit here and play God and say, oh, look, Brooklyn's not going to be able to just hit baskets early in the game? It just seems too guessy. Then we move on to Bane over 14.5 points. That's a Trot Wam official pick here. I'm betting with the bag, -106. And I'm on the Nuggets first quarter at -110 to come in sharp. Come in sharp to this game, but I don't think the risk reward is enough for me to want them for 48 minutes against the Grizzlies, who want to change the dynamic of what it's like to go to FedEx Forum. Then I'm on the over full game in Clippers, Minnesota Timberwolves. Wham and I are both on the Spurs, Hornets Warriors. Wham is on Bridges over 19.5 points at -104. And I have interest, if this total keeps going up, to try to get underneath it with an under in Hornets Warriors, but I'm certainly not going to make that bet now. And then Pelicans Kings, I came close to moving on the over, but I did not. Brady says, look at the line in the Avs game. Book setting up for all Avs money. Blue Jackets are the player. Something smells real fishy. I get it, but when the Blue Jackets open up at +200, it's hard to take them at +155, and that's going to keep me off that spot, but I get it. Spectacular job, Wham. You can see Wham Bam here every Wednesday on Betting with the Bag. You can also check him out on Pub Sports Radio, NBA Pub at 4 p.m. Eastern. Wham Bam, thank you for sharing your hard work and insights. 5-1 on this show. My guy, Wham Bam, eating. Keep up the good work, and let's bank some more W's, my man. Thanks so much for having us. Do you have any last words for the great cappers supporting the show in the chat?
I appreciate you guys, man. It's the only place you're getting legendary contact. Pub Sports, you already know where to go.
Much love, Wham Bam. Have a great show today, and thank you so much for joining us. Birdie says, Wham, win your day, my brother. Great words there from Birdie. There's just Daryl, who can be seen every Friday on this show. We had Ski Profit in the chat, who can be seen every Tuesday on this show. I'm very excited to have these great NBA cappers to help us guide us through the very enjoyable but very tricky NBA cards. Thank you. A lot of love going out to Wham Bam. Cindy plays horses, sharing that as well. All right, let's move into college football. I thought we did some nice work yesterday. It's too bad that we lost the juice going 1-1. I thought we did some nice work. And I also thought for a second that I was going to come on the show in the black, back in the black in college football. That is not the case after a 1-1 day. So I'm what that should say, I should be. Yes, 44-41, hitting at 51.8%, down 1.65 units, ROI down 1.94%, average line minus 111. Toledo first half minus 5.5 was a loser, but Ohio plus 7 was just great work, man. Yeah, Cindy, we heard about Crosby and Dumoulin, and it's Razor says, what time are you joining us tonight? I can't join you. I've got multiple bottles of Kraken actually for the week. I decided that it's better for me to have them all in Mickey's or an 8 for the Americans, just because then I can judge how much I'm drinking a little better than just destroying giant bottles as per my usual.
Kraken Jimmy came out to play last night too. For those who watch Pepsi in the Bag,
Kraken Jimmy's back in action, so I got to get the kids down. And
he also sent me a weird text message last night.
You make that sound sexual. What the hell is that supposed to mean?
Well, it was just a weird text message. You just sent me when you get your Kraken Jimmy comes out. He sends me some weird text messages, and I'm like, okay, sure.
What's so weird about it? Well, come on, let's pull this out right now.
Sure, no problem.
What are you talking about? May God bless you on your travels. Come on, man.
What do you say? Schedule's up. May God bless you on your travels. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. No problem. By the way, Jim,
you're lucky that you have a friend blessing you on your travels.
I have a father blessing me on my travels.
Or a father. All right, you guys, let's get into college football. We got work to do. Let's go right now into college football. You should be so lucky. I mean, everybody would like that message. I can see Wham in the background over here. He'd love it if I sent a message saying, Wham, God bless you on your travels today. Look at the big smile right there. See, look at this. Look at that. See,
I definitely would. It would be nice, man. What's wrong with him, bro?
What the fuck's up with this guy? Jesus, that's the last time I'm blessing you on your fucking travels, Jose. Fucking pothole in a ditch. That's where I hope you end up on your fucking travels, Jose. All right, let's go. NCAA football. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern. Central Michigan Chippewas 4-4, 2-2 in the MAC at Western Michigan. Broncos 5-3, 2-2 in the MAC. We're at the Waldo Stadium in Kalamazoo, Michigan. The borders finally opened up, and I know we got to get all these tests and shit so we can cross the border. But as soon as next year comes along, I'm going to go meet up with Matt Randall, and I want to go on a tour of these fucking Michigan football stadiums. And Waldo Stadium is actually pretty low on the list, but I want to go there and get drunk in Kalamazoo, Michigan. All right, let's start with the opening here on the Action Network. Again, my usual site is not working for me. So we are here. Central Michigan opening up as 10.5-point dogs. 10.5-point dogs. And they are now 9-point dogs. So a 1.5 move towards Central Michigan. Let's see the total. This total opened up at 63.5. And right now, let's see where it is. Sorry, it's a little more confusing now. It's gone up a point to 64.5. Let's check out the cash flow on this spot. Little Wednesday action. We have 4,980 tickets in. 62% of the tickets, 73% of the cash on Central Michigan. And then we have 54% of the tickets on the over, 39% of cash on the over. So at this point, clearly sharp bets on Central Michigan, although that 10.5 to 9 is a big difference when we have a key number of 10 gone. And then it looks like we have sharp action on the under. Let's go. Let's get to work now. And Maddie says, I got you, Jimbo. I want that. I want like a 3 or 4 day tour, or maybe a week tour next year. Let's lock that in, Maddie. Okay, Central Michigan had their 2-game winning streak snapped in a wild 39-38 loss at home to Northern Illinois last week as 6-point favorites. We are going to talk. We have Northern Illinois and Kent State on the next game, which is great because both of these, they're very common opponents here. So Western Michigan, coming off a 34-15 loss at Toledo, is 1.5-point favorites. That came on the heels, though, and a very important one, of a 64-31 win at home over Kent State. So yes, they look bad at Toledo, but they looked very good the week prior at home. Let's start with the Chippewas. Chippewas have lost 3 of 4 on the road, all by double digits. They lose by a point to Northern Illinois, and it was their 3rd game of the season with 500 total yards. Central Michigan leads the MAC with 288 yards passing per game. Daniel Richardson leads the conference with 14 TD passes. Lou Nichols III rushed 22 times for a season high 192 yards. His 919 rushing yards are the top in the MAC and 8th highest in all of FBS. And in 2020, Lou Nicholson got his ass handed to him in this game. He looked terrible. He rushed 6 times for 19 yards. He got 17 of those yards on one run. So 5 carries, the other 5 carries for 2 yards. Now let's move over to the Broncos. They come in 2nd highest in time of possession in the FBS at 36 minutes and 38 seconds a game. So only Army has the ball longer than the Broncos. They run 45 times per game. That's the 14th highest in FBS and 11th. 14th highest rate in FBS. And, of course, Air Force, Army, Navy at the top of that list. Caleb Ellaby, 2,000 yards through the air, about to hit that. He leads the MAC with 1,977 passing yards, 12 touchdowns, only behind Richardson. So there's some moving parts here. You have teams that want to run the ball, but dangerous quarterbacks. Generally, you'd see with teams that want to run the ball, especially a team like the Broncos who run it 45 times a game, you'd want to have a look on the under. But the quarterbacks are so dangerous. Western Michigan has held opponents to just 319.5 yards per game this season. I mean, that would have to be the goal against Central Michigan, would be to hold on to the ball all game. Hold on to the ball all game long. They've given up just 125 yards per game on the ground. And they've held 6 of 8 offenses to under 250 passing yards. Their 3rd down defense, they've allowed opponents to convert just 29.2% of the time. Cuban Connect says this is the same as Eastern Michigan got yesterday. Give me the 9 with Central Michigan. I have mixed feelings about all of this at this point. Eric Jones giving us a 37-30 final score with Western Michigan. Puzzler says, have we been abusing poor Jose so much that he now finds simple kindness confusing? Says, oh dear. Maybe that's it. Roland G on Central Michigan +9 as well. Okay, clearly the Sharks are on Central Michigan at 10.5. Would they be at 9 is my first question. My second question is, we know that Western Michigan wants to hold on to the ball for as long as possible. Let's just see what so Central Michigan's team totals at 26.5, heavily juiced to the over. I wonder if that goes up to 27.5. And I wonder if we try to get underneath it. Because Western Michigan's going to want to hold the ball for 40 minutes in this game. Running the ball 45 times. So this last game was a 34-15 loss at Toledo. And we know that Toledo can score in a hurry, but it's that Kent State game that's sticking in our head, 64-31. And again, this has, just like yesterday, exactly like yesterday, we have the tickets on the over, but the big bets on the under, and that didn't work out for the Sharps yesterday. Well, I'm a little confused exactly how to bet this. So Western Michigan is at 37.5, and that's juiced minus 130 to the over. Wow. This total is sitting at 64.5. So, okay. So this is how I think I'm going to do this. So everybody saw wild high scores yesterday in the MAC. So clearly, the public is going to come in and start betting the over and betting the over and betting the over. We know that Western Michigan wants to keep the ball out of Central Michigan's hands, and they want to carry the ball 45 plus times, which would have to lead you to the under. Roland G says 62.5 was the total. Now it's sitting at 65. And Mike M says the under is the spot. This line's dropping too much to chase it down much further. I agree with that. Okay, so that's the plan. That will be the plan. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait with Central Michigan, Western Michigan, and I would like to bet the under, but I'd like it to go higher, and I expect it to go higher. And that is going to be my plan for Central Michigan, Western Michigan. And if Central Michigan just keeps getting bet, then at what point do you start looking at Western Michigan, especially after what they did to Kent? All right, so there is the Kalamazoo, Michigan, Central Michigan Chippewas at Western Michigan Broncos. Vital says Central projected at plus 7.5, but they're getting plus 9.5. Only lean I could see is Central Michigan. You can see if the number goes higher close to game time. And Nathan Stern says, sounds like a good under. Now, let's all remember all those games went over yesterday. And all of the sharp money was on the under. And Razor came in saying that all these games are going to go over. It's ridiculous. So, and there's Cuban Connect saying all these games go over. So, if we want to move on this, let's wait. Let's wait and see how high this number goes and then attack it. All right, let's move on to our last spot on the board, and it's part of the spreadsheet play of the day. Spreadsheet play of the day is Carolina, also NIU involved as well. All right. And Razor saying passing on college footbal today, no value to me today. And Roland G still going to take the under. Or sorry, still going to take the over. And Trot Wam says Jakob Poeltl is out several games. Wow. So that must be, is that more COVID stuff? Well, that changes everything. Wham, let's bring you back on, Wham, and talk about this Portland spot that we were going to move on. Great that you're staying backstage. I love that shit. Wham, that's so great. Wham Bam, talk to us about Poeltl. Are you taking now the Spurs off the board?
Yeah, you know what? I want to take him off the board because they still give me the cash out. He's going to be out for health and protocols, but we may be able to take advantage. If I'll take them off right now, I may would jump back on them when the line moves in their favor against them there. So just because the news is out, I still think they could still pull it off without Portal. Obviously, you want them in there, of course. But I think I'm still going to back the Spurs here, just not at this number. No, not without Portal. Because we get a better number now. That's the only bet I didn't make yet. It's funny. That's everything else I already. Yeah, that's the only one I didn't make yet.
Do you think that without Jakob Poeltl, that this will move towards more of a small ball game?
I would think so. I still like those guys to be able to take over the guard play here, and it just elevates Keldon Johnson here. His points, rebounds, and assists is going to go up there. So it's another way of just forming attacking. I think they still be able to pull it off. But we should be able to get about 4.5 now, or maybe even a little bit. You know, I think the money should be dumping in on Dallas now. So I was just thinking maybe we should wait for the Spurs now, because we're going to get a better number than 1.5, because I think it's at +1 now.
Yeah,
so we're going to get better now.
All right, the Spurs is off of both of our cards at this point, and you have to watch 4 p.m. Eastern on NBA Pub to see if it stays on. Thanks for jumping back on, my guy.
No, appreciate you, bro.
All right, there he is. Our guy Wham Bam. Okay, let's move on to NIU, Northern Illinois, 6-2, 4-0 in the MAC, and what a surprise they've been this year. Playing good football at Kent State, 4-4, 3-1. We're at Dick's Stadium in Kent, Ohio. NIU coming off that impressive 39-38 win at Central Michigan as 6-point dogs, and Kent State coming in off a 34-27 win at Ohio as 5-point favorites. Now we saw. And I was very happy that we capped it beautifully. We saw what Ohio is doing now. That was against Kent State. Rourke had his best game of the year, going 31 of 38, and he carried that over into this next game. So maybe that victory at Ohio looks a little better than what we have seen from Kent State. So let's do a couple things here. I would like to first go and take a look at Kent State's. Let's take a look at Kent State's home games only and see what they do, and then give a little bit more respect for them covering at Ohio last out. So let's move here, and we're going to get this started. Here we go. And pull this up. All right, and then we're going to break down how we see each team when they have the ball. So Northern Illinois coming off a dramatic win in a possible letdown spot against the Golden Flashes. So here, this team is coming off of 2 straight road games. The first one was awful, 64-31 loss at Western Michigan. And the one before that, then they win 34-27 at Ohio. So their 2 home games before that, the big one was that 48-38 win at home over Buffalo. And then against Bowling Green, they win 27-20. So let's move over to Action Network and see what this opened up at. This opened up with Kent State minus 5.5 and the total at 66.5. So right now we have, I'll move over here. Sorry. Here we go. Right now we have them at 3.5. So money moving towards Northern Illinois because of that excellent football game that they played last week, and the fact that they're 4-0 in conference, and this total sitting at 71. This total has gone up 4.5 points from the opener at 66.5. And I don't have this in front of me. But so far, like exactly what it is. But so far this year, when there's been a 5-point move on a total, I've taken the under, and I think it's only happened 3 times, and I have to double check, but I think I'm 3-0 on trying to get under that. And if this just keeps climbing, at what point do we take the under? Especially after everybody saw all these ridiculously high scores yesterday. Very, very interesting. Matty Ice says Kent State is better in almost all areas. Says D-line might favor NIU, but that's it. And Eric Jones says under 70. So clearly one thing that's happening in the market is what Northern Illinois did last week, people are believing in. Christopher Comentini says Husky's going to run all over Kent. So let's dive into this a little more here in this spot. So Kent with just 1 loss in conference play, going up against this Husky squad that's 4-0 in conference play. So last year, the Huskies go 0-6. And look, Thomas Hammock looked like he had a huge, huge mess on his hands. 5-13 in his first 2 years as head coach. And then they turn it around. 6-2 record, wins over Georgia Tech, Toledo, Central Michigan, Eastern Michigan. 4-0 in the MAC. I mean, this is a team that's rolling. So Kent State has won 3 of their last 4. They got off to a poor start. And they've played a tough schedule. I mean, they played Texas A&M. They played Iowa. They played Maryland. I think that this is a mistake here. I really do. I think that the fact that NIU looked so good in that 39-38 win and that they're 4-0 in the MAC and it's gone down to 3.5. What if this goes down to 3? If this goes down to 3, then I think Kent State has to be the bet here. So let's look at this a little more here. You have this ground game for the Huskies that's so strong. Harrison Whaley, 574 yards. Jay Ducker, 478. Clint Ratkovich, 231. Ontario Brown, 205. But Whaley's missed the last 3 games due to injury, and he's not going to be there. So you take off Harrison Whaley, their best runner, but they still have Jay Ducker, Clint Ratkovich. So it doesn't hurt them that much. And Kent State's giving up 185.4 rushing yards per game. So they allowed over 300 yards on the ground against Buffalo and Western Michigan, but they cleaned it up a little bit against Ohio, who's not nearly as strong against the run, but that is moving in the right direction. So we have Rocky Lombardi, who's looked very good for NIU. This NIU team with Rocky Lombardi, leading the way, is a very conservative offense passing-wise, and they're last in the MAC in passing attempts and, yards. And he threw for 348 yards in that win over Central Michigan, but that was just 11 of 17. So I think here that Kent State and their offense, and we remember how fast they were playing last year, they're averaging 35 points through their 4 MAC games. It just feels like they're the spot here with everybody backing what they saw from Northern Illinois. And this is the spot where everybody's on Northern Illinois here. Matty Ice says NIU is going to want to slow this down. They know they can't win a shootout. Says, remember, Kent State's playing for first place here. Kent State and the under, says Matty Ice. Mike M says, love Kent State. CT Bay says, give me the team with a better passing game and quarterback in a game with a total this high. Wow. Okay, so this is a wait spot again. This is a wait spot for me. I want 3. I want a 3, and I will wait to see if I can get it. And I bet you I get it because at Bet365, this plus 3.5 for Northern Illinois is juiced. So I want the 3 for Kent State, and I want the under, but I'm going to wait. So minus 3 on Kent State and the under. Wow. This is wild. Nathan Stern says offense always eventually dominates the game. And Cab says Jose giving out ULL tomorrow, first half of full game. Obviously, Kent State's 100, but I feel damn good. All right. Very, very, very interesting game. So this is my plan. My plan is to go against what everybody saw yesterday. So everyone's going to bet these totals up, and away, and then take the under. I'm not going to mess with the side in Central Michigan, Western Michigan, but I am going to mess with the side if I can get Kent State at 3. Mike M says the first half unders look on my card. 35 is a lofty for a potential slower pace. I love it. All right, so there you go. We have more college football game after weekday games tomorrow and Friday, which is very exciting. All right, let's do a final review of the card in NHL. We're coming off a nice 3-in-1 day plus 2.05 units. The only move I'm on is the Oilers minus 1.5 at plus 120. It's now plus 105. T-Max says, could you say public money is starting to outweigh sharp money because everyone is betting now? No, because we get to see where the big bets are. And Vitalis shows Kent at minus 3 at minus 120. Says, just wait. Yeah, I'm going to. This is fun. This is going to make these two games really, really fun going up against these market moves and what everybody's seeing. Cuban Connect is on Carolina puck line at plus 155. The only spot for me is the Oilers. Then in NBA, I am going to think about the Pacers a little more. But the problem is I've got that 110-109 game against the Raptors in my head. They didn't look very good in that game, the Pacers. But now they have Brogdon back, and maybe I should give that a little bit more respect than I was giving it because we saw what the Raptors did to the Knicks. And they're 5-3 and 3-0 on the road. So maybe I should give that a little bit more respect than I have given it. I'm going to be on the Wizards minus 3.5 against my Raptors. I'm going to be on the Nuggets first quarter and the over in Clippers Minnesota Timberwolves. We've taken our Spurs action off the board, and I'd like to see how high this Hornets Golden State Warriors total gets to. Then in college football, I'm going to be on the under on both these games, but I want it to go up, and away. And then when Kent State gets to minus 3, I'm going to back Kent State. And Puzzler says the Penguins now also facing a sexual assault lawsuit. Jesus. It just never ends. We're going to have to study that. All right, there you have it. Thank you guys so much for joining us here on Betting with the Bag. I have no show without you guys. You guys are just incredible. I love working with you guys. You inspire me to try harder and to cap better. Roland G, Billy Pilgrim, who's on Nuggets full game. Puzzler are in the house as Wolves should crush Clips. T-Mac, Lex Steele, Cuban Connect, Vitalis, Unc Oliver, Mike M, Michael Ervelina, Cab, Big Daddy Cab in the house. Nathan Cerna, Rem Most, CT Bays, Matty Ice, Ron Crawford, Christopher Commentini, Trot Wam, our special guest Top Shelf Plays. All you guys, thank you so much for making this show what it is. Yes.
And tomorrow, by the way, the return, Jose, we kept movie reviews tomorrow.
Beautiful.
Us in Dutch, yes. Gonna watch it tonight.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, cool. I look forward to that. That'll be a lot of fun. So we got to be tighter because we have a Babano's show after us. So, and I apologize because the last 2 days, last two Thursdays, I've gone a little bit over that 2-hour slot. So I need to be tight tomorrow, and I will do my best to do that.
No cracking in the morning for you.
No, I'm not. There's no cracking in the morning at all. This is a huge week. I got breeders, baby. I got to stay focused.
Fuel up. You gotta fuel up. I mean, what are the fuel champions, aka Kraken? I mean, come on.
Yes, Brady, I'll send them right after this. I'm just going to make a couple bets here, and then I will send you. I love you guys. Jose, great job producing the show. Thank you for all your hard work. On behalf of all of us at Pub Sports Radio, thank you guys for your support. Let's have ourselves a day. We had a nice start to the week. 5-3 plus 1.85 units. I want more. Give me more. Leche. Hey, those bookmakers.